Her name is Amy.
His name is Riley.
And this is Turtle Time.
That's where it ends.
Perfect. Perfect. I'm glad we worked that out right beforehand. That's the perfect new introduction to Turtle Time, right?
It's canon.
That is locked in. It's a unique take on the old way of doing things, but with a little extra flair. Do you concur with that?
Yeah.
Good.
We were just talking amongst ourselves that we feel a little untethered being apart and doing this in our little siloed domiciles. So we have to find new ways to get energy to connect.
Yeah, it feels horrible. Like I feel cut off from you spiritually and just getting your energy. And also I feel like I have too much freedom to do whatever I want in this little room that I'm in. And like I need the restraint of being back, with you going to your place. So I hope that becomes the new normal again soon. I feel like I'm adrift without being in your house or you coming to me.
We have to do that thing like Mike TV where he turns into little particles and goes into the screen. We have to change our form.
Mike TV, yeah, right. He famously loved, right, if I'm remembering correctly, loved television.
Yeah.
And then Willy Wonka did the perfect thing, right, as his comeuppance.
Poetic.
He kind of made him a little tiny, well, I forget. Yeah, he made him a little tiny little stinker, or he projected him onto the TV, and then Well, I would love. I mean, that would be probably the best way to do that for you and I. I was going to ask you. I didn't ask you beforehand because I wanted to get your live answer, and I didn't want to. I wanted Little Turtle Cuties and Villa Rosa VIPs to hear it straight from you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. What did I get up to today? I posted some clips on the Turtle Time account.
That was so nice. I watched those with fresh eyes of not knowing what we ever talked about or where the hell they came from. The Kelly Ben Simone salad dressing. I like that.
Yeah, I posted. I can't remember. I think we've talked about before. I used the opportunity to share the meme of Bethany serving Bob pouring nasty salad dressing.
Yeah.
I just will take any opportunity to post that. But yeah, I'm just hanging out with my foster cat, Norman. And I went to Target.
Oh my God, that's awesome. You have I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but how was Target today?
It was good. It was a quick trip. I went for one specific thing.
Oh my God.
I kept it cool.
Oh, that's good. Oh my God, a perfect Target run. I wanted to tell everybody, Little Turtle Cuties, that you've really been taking the brunt of the Turtle Time work, cutting clips, making beautiful merchandise, and you've been letting me kind of just, spiral out in my home, doing stuff, on this end, which is really, really nice. You've picked up a lot of the slack, so I want people to honor you and think about that.
Baby turtle daughter update? Tell the people.
She's really good. Penny is really good. Things are looking very hopeful, I think, overall for her future. She's been I think the first 2 weeks they're kind of like in a dream state where they don't know that they're outside the womb and they're kind of just like sleeping and eating, but it seems like she's now very much awake and knows she's part of this world.
Cute.
But yeah, so it's cute that she's part of this world. And yeah, everything is looking very good. But the only thing that's hard is just the 3-hour schedule, which I didn't know about before.
Mm-hmm.
I should have read a book or something. But 2 to 3 hours, every 2 to 3 hours, you got to feed her, burp her. What's the other stuff? Change her to a little diaper. And then she looks around for about 30 minutes and then she goes to sleep. And then you do the exact same thing again. And so it's kind of interesting to be on that sort of cycle. I've never done anything like that, but overall it's been very good. I mean, best case scenario, I think, for Penny.
Cutie.
Yeah, she's being really sweet. I wanted to say this. I don't know how much more preamble we want to do, but it kind of leads into my first bit of news that I wanted to share with you, unless there's anything else you wanted to say.
No, I want to hear this transition.
You got me hooked on 4 Seasons Baby. I took a huge break on her. And then after last week, you said 4 Seasons Baby hasn't stopped for 1 second. You go, she's at the 4 Seasons in London. And I said, okay, well, I got to see what this baby is still doing. And I sent it to you. She met the 4 Seasons horse in London. Did you see that?
Yeah, I also liked when she was reading the paper, like
I
poolside or whatever.
I loved that too. I mean, it is as impactful as it was the first time you sent me that video at the start of summer. I mean, in my mind, they're not. It's not ending anytime soon.
Right. Yeah, is it just gonna cruise into her young adulthood?
Yeah,
Like we're
I
gonna be like, Four Seasons baby is going to college. That's how old you are, you know?
Oh, you mean like when they say those? Oh, right. Like feel old now.
Yeah.
The Four Seasons baby just got accepted to Harvard. Do you
Yeah.
feel old now? Yeah, I think it's. I think that there's so much more juice or opportunity to her going to a lot of different Four Seasons than I originally expected. Oh, and then and then the Hawk Tua girl had a big update too. Not that we have to keep. She's got Talk Tua as the podcast
Yeah.
that she's
it
on.
couldn't be better of a title.
Yeah, I think it's really good, and anyway, I was just like, I like that the summer stuff that we loved. It's pushing into fall.
Yeah.
And Brat Summer, I saw there's another update. Kyle MacLachlan went to Charlie XCX's show,
All that.
and he's contributing to kind of extending the life of Brat Summer, which I also really
know.
liked.
He was wearing a brat hat that I was like, shit, should I buy that? Because I'm going in like a number of weeks, maybe
When?
a month.
October.
Whenever she's in LA, it's like early October. I'm going. I bought my tickets pre-Brat Summer, and now I'm like, I feel like that merch will be immediately dated, like it already is, but it also feels like a fun
Yeah.
talisman of the time.
Yeah,
to
I think so.
have.
Yeah, it's gonna always strike someone when they see it, be like, oh, I remember that era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I had. Diddy was in a little bit of trouble.
Oh. Yeah, he's doomed.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then the last, before we get to the Vanderpump Rules news, this sparked so much joy when I saw it. Thinking about you, did you see the latest news about the movie chain AMC?
They're renovating.
They're renovating. They're putting $2.2 billion into their chains across the country, and they're going to add pickleball courts and zip lines into the theaters. Did you see this?
I literally, like, right before we got together, saw a little something, but where are they getting that money from? Aren't they on like the verge of bankruptcy? Like, I feel like they're not even doing well.
I think we need to look into what's going on, because I also thought the same thing. I was like, I thought AMC's were, if anything, were going to be the opposite. They were going to be taking seats out or making the screen smaller, but they got $2.2 billion. They said you can zip line from the back of the theater to the front of the theater while you're watching a movie, which that's kind of, interesting. And you're an AMC head.
Oh yeah. I went on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Saw Speak No Evil. It was a blast.
Really?
Yeah, loved it. It was fun. It was just, the crowd was pretty full. Everyone was hooting and hollering, like, don't go in there. Like, no, like, bad decision. Like, he's going to kill you.
If someone would have ziplined during some of the parts, would that have made it more fun or just as much?
Wasn't there supposed to be like a audience participation element to Megalopolis?
Yeah. Oh my God, yes. Adam Driver, halfway through the movie, he says, "Are you still watching?" And he says, "If you are,"
zip line, and you're like,
yes. It's perfect. Yeah, he says, "Come down." It's kind of odd because it's creating a lot of fervor in the theaters, but he says, "Come on down from your seat and talk to me while I'm on screen." And so people are walking out of their seats and talking to Adam Driver for a full 3 minutes in the middle of it. Can I tell you something?
I have to see that shit.
I got invited, soft invited to the premiere of Megalopolis when it's in Los Angeles.
When's that?
I don't know if I got accepted to it, but they said, "Do you like Francis Ford Coppola, and are you willing to get out of your seat to talk to the Adam Driver screen?" And I said, "Absolutely."
Because you're an influencer, or because you have a friend?
I think it's because I have a friend, but I'll let you know. It's not set in stone, but if I get
That's
a guest,
great reason to leave your baby for the first time. I think you should be allowed to do that.
yes, and if I get a guest, I don't know if I'll check your calendar, but that would be so fun. Could you imagine?
Can't wait. I've heard it's a real slog.
It kind of fits in really well with the Turtle Time aesthetic.
How so?
It's just we're sort of like the Francis Ford Coppola, or you know what I mean, of podcasts in a way.
Yeah. Did you hear who was he talking crap about? Was it like Variety or Hollywood Reporter?
Yeah.
He was like, shame on you
Yeah.
for shunning my genius.
He said tisk tisk tisk. He said Variety, because they painted this portrait of him kissing a bunch of extras on the set of Megalopolis. He said Francis Ford Coppola was basically just sitting in a chair in the middle of all these extras, and he was going, "Come over here and let me kiss you on the cheek." And Variety put this article out, and I think he's suing them for defamation.
Oh wow.
You also saw that thing. This is Megalopolis minute, but first of all, I heard exactly like you said that it's absolutely awful, and people are like walking out and think it's pure shit. But then you saw that he used that trailer where he said it was like Pauline Kael was like, The Godfather was pure shit, and then it was like, who are older critics like
She's the big one.
Pauline
Siskel and Ebert.
Siskel and Ebert. They were like, Godfather Part 2. This also sucks. And then I was like, whoa, that kind of does. I think that this movie is gonna be pure shit, but it is interesting to me that Pauline Kael was like, Godfather is an absolute stinker, and she was wrong. You. Yeah, and then the end of this story. This is a little bit of old news, but they were all AI generated. Pauline Kael and Siskel and Ebert, they didn't say anything about The Godfather wrong.
The agency was like, write a review in the style of Pauline Kael where she pans Apocalypse Now, and AI was like, right away. And then everyone that worked on that project got fired.
They did? Oh my God. But also, I was thinking, how hard is it to have pulled bad quotes about Francis Ford Coppola's movies? Couldn't you have just pulled anything from any of his movies, like Jack?
Too much work.
I mean, I'm sure was there legitimately no bad reviews that they could have pulled from for any of his other, completely dog shit films besides the 3 that are good?
Be like very clear and of his best works and famous critics.
Yeah, that it made sense to me, but I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was completely fooled by that ad.
I know they got in real trouble for that, and then I forget who was it. What studio is it?
Where it's
movie.
I forget. Where it's coming out from?
Yeah, like someone got fired over that. Okay. I feel like I have to see it, kind of, even though I don't really want to.
Yeah.
I saw for the little film heads, I forced myself. I'm trying to be in my Criterion era. And I'm going to print out all of them. There's like 1,200 or something like that. And I'm going to mark off all the ones I've seen and be bold in my attempt to see them all, or like a lot of them. And so I went and saw Paris, Texas last night.
Whoa.
And it was beautiful.
Wait, so you're doing it? That's odd. Wait, you're really doing the Criterion Challenge?
I mean, there's just so many movies playing now that I see like 2 or 3 movies a week in the theater. And I'm like, I should just target ones that are Criterion. And I was going to go see In the Mood for Love, but the timing didn't work out. So I'll wait till next time. The thing is, they all come back around, but that's my meaning in life right now. I'm going to try and watch intellectually stimulating films amongst the crap.
I love that. I love that mission. You're telling me that for the first time, for real. I can't believe that. That's a great, wonderful goal. I think that's so fun in theaters.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are certain ones that I feel like I could probably be okay watching at home, but like half the time when I go see something like that in theaters, I'm like, yeah, there's no way I was watching this at home. Like,
yeah, right.
No, not happening. Like,
but Paris, Texas was good, you said.
Yeah, it's long.
Okay.
I was sleepy. I was like, this is 2.5 hours. But
did you have to fight through sleep a little bit?
A little bit. I'll be truthful on that. But the cinematography.
Oh my God.
Breathtaking.
Oh my God. I've only seen screenshots, I think, on Twitter of what it looks like, but every little image they show of it, I'm like, whoa, that possibly will look good when I see that.
Yeah, like I haven't felt that way in a while, where it would get to a certain shot and I literally gasped.
Wow.
Because it looks so cool.
That's awesome. I kind of cut you off about Blink twice, but I feel like of all the films that you've seen this year that weren't Criterion films. Blink Twice got your most ringing
Not
endorsement.
Blink Twice. I did see that though. I saw Speak No Evil this week.
Oh my God.
Blink Twice was forgettable.
Oh, I'm sorry. Blink Twice is the Channing Tatum one.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What's Speak No Evil?
That's the James McAvoy one, and Mackenzie Davis and Scoot McNairy.
Oh my God.
A little bit of a Halt and Catch Fire reunion happening. And have you seen the movie Straw Dogs?
Oh yeah, I love it.
It's very similar to that.
Whoa, really? In the way that I'm thinking?
English countryside terrors.
Oh my God. So kind of scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really fun though. And I was with a mutual friend of ours who usually avoids horror at all costs. And it's really more of like, it's not a horror, but it's more just like almost like a thriller, like fight for your life, like escape kind of a movie.
Okay. Wow. Okay. That sounds fun. And what led to you speaking of films again, you have been causing Cinematrix fever for Turtle Time listeners, Little Turtle Cuties and Villa Rosa VIPs. Have you seen it?
I love it. I don't know. Has become a little, I'm trying to chill out on it because it kind of haunts me sometimes.
Not getting what aspect of it?
Yeah, like I'll try and do it like first thing in the morning, but then if I really can't just slay it right out the gates, I'll leave it open for like hours to try and wait until something appears in my mind that I haven't thought of. And then I'm like, I can't move forward with my day until it's done.
Wow.
And today was a flop. I could not, I did the bottom 2 rows, but guess what? I do not know Idris Elba movies, apparently.
Really?
Unfortunately.
I know the one. There was the genie one, George Miller.
Oh yeah. I don't know if that worked.
Oh.
They're getting very clever with their categories because I think they're running out of ideas. Like yesterday, the category was contains a chess piece in the title, i.e. king, queen, castle. Like it was so lame.
Oh God.
Yeah. And then today was contains an animal in the title. And I tried to put beast for Idris Elba because there's that movie where he gets chased by a lion. Mm-hmm. And beast, I guess, was not specific enough. It wouldn't give it to me.
Oh my God.
But spoiler alert, I, of all people, forgot he's in Cats.
He is? I didn't know that.
He's McCavity.
Okay. Well, this won't be too much of a spoiler, right? Because tomorrow this will be...
Oh, yeah, it'll be long gone. You can't even do it anymore.
Well, so they're gonna run out, you said?
They're just trying to get all clever, and
Yeah.
I don't need the bonus challenge on top of considering what is acceptable. Like, I need the parameters to be clear. I don't need to be like, does this count?
Yeah,
right.
right.
I don't like that. But yeah, it was Seth Rogen as well, which was kind of fun. And Lucy Liu
Was for one of the categories.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Would Kingsman have been okay for the chess one, or is that too because it's
Do you want to hear what their dumbass parameter is?
Yeah, sure.
I have it open. I hate it. It says whenever there's just too much, it goes movies with a title that contains the name of. Oh wait, sorry, that's animal, not king. Fuck. I can't click on the king one anymore. Sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll find what it was and we'll edit in what it is for the listeners. What that
Okay.
what that category was called.
But maybe it would because for the animal one it says animal names in a compound word will count, i.e. underdog or horseman.
Or Batman.
Right.
Right?
But humans and humanoid creatures, i.e. the Hobbit, angels and demons, will not.
They had to specifically say the Hobbit wouldn't work. You're right. They are sort of running on fumes, it seems.
I know. I'm like, how long can we play this game?
It's kind of like Wordle, right? They can't. There's only like 300 5-letter words, and I think that they've started to. I haven't played in a while, but they've done like treat like 20 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I haven't even gone down that path. I guess maybe I should branch out to things that aren't just movies and tease my brain in other ways.
Yeah, I'm gonna start teasing my brain with a game in the morning too, because maybe Cinematrix, because I haven't fully committed yet, but I want to. I want to be on this journey with everybody, like you and all of your friends and all of the little turtle cuties that are doing
It's
this.
fun. I'll just like Jimmy will still be sleeping, and I'll just be like, I want his help so bad, even though he never helps me because he's either still sleeping or he doesn't care and doesn't even try.
Oh wow!
But I'll just be like sitting there, and I'll be like, Sidney Poitier. What is Sidney Poitier?
That's kind of fun though. You get to think about Sidney Poitier for a couple minutes.
Yeah, it's because you never know what angle it's going to come from, and you're like, damn, like I really don't think about that person ever.
Yeah,
you know?
that is really fun. Good. Well, I had some Vanderpump Rules or more Bravo centric news, I guess. Yeah. After sort of, because I wanted to talk about the Four Seasons baby, but then after that, we have you and I we were going to start out the podcast with this news, but we took 20 full minutes to get to this point after talking about a bunch of other stuff.
Oh right.
But this is big turtle time news. I mean, we lie and say that things are newsworthy and that we lie about breaking news or having sources for stuff, but this is true, real news. Amy, do you want to take the lead on this Turtle Time exclusive?
Sure. We have heard through the grapevine that they are considering this next season, 12?
12.
Of Vanderpump Rules to be the last.
Yes. We heard this from a very, very... what's that called when a source is good? A very unimpeachable source. Very, very. I mean, we did the connection. Amy and I are not we're not like these shitty Bravo sites that just post any fucking garbage like Dumois or whatever the hell those other sites are. This is like Amy and I know firsthand. This is like journalism.
New York Times style.
Journalism 101. We can connect the dots right here. We can verify this, fact checked. They are at least debating in the production realm, where whoever the Evolution Media, Alex Baskin, they're saying, let's market this thing. Let's really consider Vanderpump Rules season 12 to be the final season of Vanderpump Rules, at least at this point. I mean, They could always change their mind. If season 12 is the most shocking thing, and there's a Scandival 2.0 or something, obviously they would keep this thing going. But for now, they really want to test what it would be like if they just considered this the final season of Vanderpump Rules and did everything according to that. The marketing, thinking about this, like wrapping up the Vanderpump Rules story at season 12.
Right. I know, it's not good for our business, but...
Oh, you and I. Oh. As long as there's stuff like whatever the hell else we talk about still, we'll be doing just fine. You know what I mean? There's always going to be spin-offs and stuff.
Yeah.
But the Valley is obviously just
That's
piping hot right now.
Yeah.
There's going to be, Housewives franchises forever. But yeah, I think, but I want to say this. I do think it's a good idea. I do think it's a good idea just in terms of the cast and everyone involved knowing that this could be the final season of Vanderpump Rules, to really wrap up and respect the legacy of Vanderpump Rules without letting it go on too long and start to just fizzle out in mediocrity, which is kind of what season 9 represented a little bit. Yeah. And they were like, please just give us one last season 10, so we can put a final bow on this thing. And then they got the most climactic thing in the world that projected it more. But I think that going in just knowing that this could be the final season of Vanderpump Rules will yield a lot of good storylines or not storylines, but just like there's closure and they know that they're wrapping this thing up. I think it's a good frame of mind to go into this season, knowing that for everyone involved. It's like, let's put the final true bow at the end of this iconic show.
Right. I wonder, it's just, what does that do to the morale of the cast if they know that that's what's happening? Like, are they going to become petulant? Is Lala, assuming she's still on, going to be just pissed off the whole time? Like, I told you this was going to happen. And then will Ariana feel even less inclined to participate because it doesn't matter? I'm curious of
Well,
how they'll participate.
you have to go into this sort of, you have to think about the like television shows that knew that this was the final season, like 2.5 Men, like, you know, what Chuck Lorre did with that. I get what you're saying. There's no incentive to make this good because you're not vying for the future of the show. But I do think that all of them respect the legacy of Vanderpump Rules enough to know that let's go out on top. And there's always the cherry at the, or what's the carrot at the end of this stick, which is very possible that Vanderpump Rules could get extended. But knowing that this is or could be the final season, I think will help frame the season in a great way. But I know what you mean. I mean, Lala...
Unprecedented.
Right. But you know what I was thinking is that it is unprecedented. But I was thinking, like, why can Housewives franchises go on in perpetuity? It's because there's so much cast shakeup that they are... perpetual generating conflict machines, because once somebody you get tired of them, they replace them with a new cast member, and it's in the same franchises. They look completely different after 10 seasons. They've completely been reshaped. Vanderpump Rules, unfortunately, they just had the most iconic cast right from the start. And when they tried to do that, make this a shuffling cast, those people, everyone said, get the hell off of our television. So it's almost a testament to this true core cast that they couldn't be replaced by these upstarts and these people that were vying for their positions. So it's like, unfortunately, because this cast is basically like the cast of Friends or whatever, like kind of like a sitcom cast, you do need to end this logically, because the participants just can't go on forever. It's just, it's not possible. And I think season 11 showed the weakness of continuing Vanderpump Rules forever, for, you know, for 5 to 10 more seasons, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, now everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. They all have their podcasts. They're just kind of like living their own lives. And there really is no amount of times you can invite them to the same bar that will make sense.
I think so too. I think before season 11, I was like, however much Vanderpump Rules you want to give me, like, I'll take it. But I do think, like, I just think for the overall legacy of the show and how it has been the same core 8 cast members or whatever for so long, like, it really, it would be good to end like in glory potentially, instead of letting it be like turn into like them being replaced by new cast members from SUR. I think I think it has to end, and this might be the best way to do it. So
yeah, maybe they can do like I don't know. Like, do you think they'll do like multiple spin-offs? Like, we already have the Valley, and then they're gonna maybe do the young cast or the young servers, which might be its own show. And then it's like, do you think they'll do a secondary spin-off? Because it's like, it just seems crazy to throw all these people away.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Valley is obviously going to be a landing place for Vanderpump Rules cast members. Obviously, you know, Lala and Sheena are going to be vying to be on that cast. Stassi's not really on the cast anymore, but she's kind of the template for how you can pivot yourself to getting potentially a spinoff or being on another Lisa spinoff. So I think that there's going to be safety nets for all of the cast members after that. But you're right, it does seem like they're leaving a lot of talent there on the, you know, post Vanderpump Rules. But I think there will be enough spinoffs potentially for them all to have a future in reality television, no matter what.
Did you see the screenshots from Stassi's new book that she kind of goes into detail on the wedding invite debacle of Jax and Brittany?
I did. There was a great TikTok. I wish that I knew who had posted it, but they got the book and they were just reading it out loud. And I think it was exactly how I imagined it, because we've gotten that story now from like 3 different sources, but like it was good, I guess, to have the definitive account. But was there anything you learned from seeing that?
Yeah, I was like, this is what you said before. I guess we just know about it already, but I did like that one of the things that Stassi was forwarded by someone else was Jax talking shit, saying that he hates Europe.
Yeah. I know. I read that too. It just seems like something that Jax, flippantly said because I know he likes Europe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like I am on Stassi. I mean, shocker, I'm on Stassi's side over Jax's side. But like even Brittany, like I'm like, that is like a friendship ender
Yeah.
of like just being flippant about whether or not you're going to come to someone's wedding,
Yeah.
not giving them the respect of an RSVP. Like you did take spots away from someone else that
Yeah.
they could have invited, and like that did cost them money. And like if you were already on the fence with them because they had fucked you over a few times and then they did that, I totally understand being like, all right, like I'm done with y'all, like absolutely.
Yeah. And you hear that they're talking shit about your wedding, your wonderful Italian wedding. Like I would be so upset if I heard that someone was like talking shit about my wedding. It's just like I mean I think that she needs, like there's forgiveness for Brittany, I'm sure, but I totally understand why Stassi wrote them off for a really long time after that.
I feel like, I don't know, I'm always like 1 foot in and out on like how much grace I'm willing to give Brittany. Like I do feel bad for her because Jax sucked and he treated her poorly, but I'm also like, he's the partner you chose and like you were aligned with him, and like I think she gets off scot-free a lot because he sucks so bad. But I'm like, what's your judgment zone? Like, how do you operate? What's your deal? Like, I feel like she's constantly in his shadow, so we don't really think about what she has going on.
Right. I think she pulled him aside a few times behind closed doors and, gave him the business, but we never saw that side because she had to defend him just so much. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we're kind of going to be when the Valley season 2 and season 3 come out, like we're going to be seeing Brittany in a completely different light. Once she's not in a relationship with Jax, it'll be interesting to see how she navigates the world and how she talks about Jax's behavior when she's not in a relationship with him. Because it was the end of the Valley. It was good when Brittany started to stand up for herself and talked about how he was lying about starting therapy. She was like, "You did that a day ago because you knew that cameras were going to be up." Like she called him out on his bullshit. That'll be kind of fun to see Brittany because we've never seen her outside of, like you said, Jax's shadow.
Right. It does seem like what do you call that? Like bridges burned or like scorched earth. She keeps posting comments and stuff online of like Jax was seen with a mystery woman, and then some people were like, I think that's Brittany, and she was like, not me, I don't want him anywhere near my face. Like She hates his guts.
Yeah, it doesn't seem good. I forget what the last thing was that she called into question. Oh, his charity, his cancer research charity. She said that he said that he was obviously like he was trying to do some experiments to cure cancer, and Brittany just called him out completely. She said he's never done any cancer research at our house during the time when we've been living together.
He did it while they were formulating Mama's beer cheese. He had and he was like, I think this actually stops the cancer from multiplying.
You know that thing, Mima? He doesn't. Yeah, you know that thing where it's like sometimes you need an outside perspective to do something for the first time. It's like when these I don't know if it's like in the stock market, like when these finance people, and then all of a sudden if somebody comes in with no finance knowledge and they're like, why don't you do things that way? You know what I mean? And they're so entrenched in their sort of philosophy that the outside, I forget what this is called. It's a concept. Outsider's brain.
Disruptor.
It's quite possible that maybe Jax, if he kind of knew the some of the specifics of what contributes to cancer and how they've been dealing with it so far, maybe an outsider's perspective could contribute to curing it. So anyway, that's just
totally.
Before we get to, there was a natural segue. There's a natural segue to, I know, our next topic, but I had to say on the last topic of the last season of Vanderpump Rules, in addition to knowing that this is the final season, very much that's how they're conveying it. We heard that they're gonna end with Lisa definitively stating what Vanderpump Rules meant the entire time, the title. So She hasn't said it definitively yet. She's still leaving us a little bit in the lurch, but the 3 different versions. We've talked about it a lot, but she's going to say whether it's not that she rules in terms of being cool.
Yeah.
If these are the rules that you all have to abide by, Lisa's rules that she sets down upon everyone, or Lisa rules over her domains, the different properties and who works under her. And so that's going to be it's nice that they're going to end with one of the biggest questions you and I have ever had.
Yeah. I do have respect for titles that work in more than one way.
Me too. What are some examples of that?
I would be so proud of myself if I ever came up with something like that.
Me too. Is there any examples in the world?
Well, it's been coming up on Cinematrix because I'm always like, what was that dumbass title called? It was like a pun. And one for Seth Rogen today, I was like, what is that Barbra Streisand movie called? Do you remember?
Oh, right. Oh, my
It's a
God.
pun.
Oh, my God. Mom.
And they're in a car.
Road trip. Mom.
But they're Jewish, and she makes him feel a certain way. What is the trope of a Jewish mother?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I'm not sure.
Guilt trip.
Okay. So I see. Guilt trip, and it conveys 2 completely different meanings. Oh my God. Double entendre. Is that what those titles are called?
Yeah. And then there was a Dan Levy one the other day. It's about like someone, his like partner dies or something, and it was called Good Grief.
Oh, and I would think of it as someone saying it, but then the alternative version of how you could
Good Grief.
Oh my gosh, that I don't know. Yeah, I do like that. I need to hear more examples because of those 2 titles. I don't know if I like either of those as a title of a film, but if you get a good one, it definitely can hit pretty hard.
Yeah, they're
for
kind of
sure.
like cheap and silly, but if it works, it works.
Have you seen that movie it has Aubrey Plaza in it, and it's called like My Old Ass?
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting title.
Yeah, I've considered whether or not I'm going to see that. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I've just never heard a title like that. Okay, Let's go back. I completely derailed a very good tangent, which was you were talking about Stassi's book, and we got to say this we have to give, you and I will bring people down, and we talk shit, and we ruin people's, or not their lives, but you and I spend so much time talking horrible shit. We have to celebrate Bravo cast members when they do great things. Stassi Schroeder announced to the whole world, she goes, look at me, I'm a New York Times bestseller again. This is my 3rd time, because we know that it's her 3rd book, 3 times on the New York bestsellers, New York Times bestseller list. And I just want to say congratulations to Stassi. It's time to honor people when they do good things.
Yeah. I will say I listen to that podcast, Celebrity Memoir Book Club, sometimes, and she has on all of her bestsellers what they call the dagger of shame.
Yeah, of course, on the New York Times bestseller list. That means that someone at Barnes and Noble or someone who owns like a warehouse put in a bulk order. It put in so many bulk orders, and then New York Times is very suspicious of how they got those book sales. Does Stassi have the dagger?
Oh yeah, always.
She does?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right, Stassi.
Raises questions.
I take it back. You didn't say New York Times bestseller with a dagger next to it.
Were.
I didn't know that she had the daggers. I thought that she could sell it. Oh my God. Why does the New York Times let daggered books be on the thing?
Yeah, it's like an asterisk, but I have to imagine it's quite common.
Yeah.
But we were joking that Lala posted congratulations today, and we're like, that must have been a hard pill to swallow. As we recall, she did not make the bestseller herself.
Yeah, it made me think about that one moment that I think we've talked about before, a really sad Lala moment where Randall got that birthday cake congratulations cake, and it said you wrote New York Times book, and then she found out that she wasn't on the New York Times bestseller list, so he had to lick the New York Times bestseller part of the frosting, and it just said, "You wrote book."
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Was that season 9?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I listened to the Celebrity Memoir Book Club about her book because I was like, there's no way I'm reading that.
Which one, the Stassi or Lala?
Lala. Give
Okay.
them Lala. Is that what it was called? And
I
it
think
didn't
so.
sound that good.
Yeah, I heard she didn't bring a lot of she didn't bring a lot to it, I think. There wasn't a lot to chew on for Lala heads.
Yeah, even like the Vanderpump tea of it all, like, didn't seem particularly earth-shattering, except that she said, I don't know if this is common knowledge, but she said that I also don't know if this is like true, but she said that she was hanging out at SUR because her friend, who was her, I forget who it was, who was her like roommate / friend that worked at SUR before her? Was it like Danny or whatever?
Yeah, that sounds right.
She just hung out there because she could drink for free and stuff, and that she was getting turned, and that Lisa approached her and was like, "We are looking for a hostess, which means you could have a chance to be on the show." Which I'm like, is that how it works?
That's how it happened?
That's what she said.
You said she was spinning around drunk on a bar stool at SUR, spinning in circles, and Lisa
like,
said,
"Ooh, I like what I see."
"Really?"
Yeah.
That means
I don't know exactly. Maybe I'll go find that exact part if she goes into detail, because I imagine I feel like it just means that Lisa was like, "You are a good contender. If you want to come back, then we'll have more conversations with like production, producers, whatever." Because like, I don't think it's just like, "I'll hire you as a hostess. You work here for a certain amount of time for real, and then maybe we'll cast you."
Yeah, let that be a lesson to anybody that goes to SUR or any other Lisa establishment. If you get drunk and you start kind of making a lot of noise and saying a lot of stuff, it's quite possible that Lisa will cast you on one of her shows.
Yeah, you never know. She might just like the cut of your jib, you know?
Yeah, that's great. And Lisa, I was thinking I don't know. Oh, we have one more big, huge update. But I wanted to say, I think that Lisa Vanderpump, I'm sure, has fought for Vanderpump Rules in the past, to continue the longevity, and really sold it in the room. Like Alex Baskin's like, "Lisa and Ken, get in here. Let's talk about the future of Vanderpump Rules." And I'm sure she was singing for her supper there, but there's now Lisa has a very clear off-ramp from the Vanderpump Rules show with Vanderpump Villa and all the other stuff that she's doing. So maybe Vanderpump and she was naturally segueing out of the conflict of Vanderpump Rules for the most part. But I'm just saying, it's like, she's not going to put in, I think, as much work to save this franchise anymore either, because she has so much more going on.
Yeah,
you could argue.
It's like the crown jewel. I do think it is sad, and she has one less restaurant. And I guess one less restaurant in West Hollywood, but more to come everywhere else. So I guess she does have plenty going on.
She does. I think, I don't know. Hopefully she agrees with the philosophy that like you leave them wanting more. She's a show person, or whatever you say, and that old show business adage. Leave them wanting more. Don't overstay.
Yeah. It does.
You're welcome.
Bum me out that, I mean, maybe Vanderpump Villa, we can give it another chance.
We will.
But I'm just like, is that the future of LVP programming?
Well, what I mean, okay. Well, we haven't talked about what we talked about, last week, which is that something was going on when cameras were up in SUR. I mean, they were filming something. They were trying to gauge the talent of existing people. So it's very possible that there could be a new iteration of Vanderpump Rules, like a spinoff for a younger generation that still has Lisa involved. But really, I mean, I think I've said this before, but it's like Lisa has a lot of outlets to get her story told, and even she has the one in her back pocket that she never wants to use. But I mean, she could always go on to Beverly Hills whenever she wanted.
Oh my God, please!
I know we need Beverly Hills. I love Beverly Hills, but I think they need to spice it up a little bit. Bethany or Lisa, they need an X factor on Beverly Hills, I think.
Yeah. I was just listening to Mackenzie Davis on a podcast, star
Who's
of
that?
Speak No Evil. She's in Tully. She's in
Oh,
Blade Runner 2049 or whatever.
was she in that? Okay, wait, Tully,
Terminator.
the person who plays the babysitter in Tully.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Of course I know that person.
She's great. She's in like a bunch of good stuff. But it was revealed that she's a big Bravo head.
Whoa.
And she said that she finds Lisa Rinna to be like an astounding, like unbelievable character. And she said that she thinks she was getting into the fact that she thinks Mary Cosby is a dangerous person.
Okay.
And that Lisa Vanderpump might be the darkest spirit on Bravo, she said.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
She evoked Goodbye Kyle and said
I'm
it
one
was
for
so upsetting to watch.
Oh my God. I'm 1 for 3 on those takes. I think Mary Cosby scares me slightly, but Lisa Rinna, I don't agree with that at all.
Mary Cosby has like people locked in the basement of her church.
I know. I'm worried. They're doing a little bit of a it's kind of like a Mary revamp, it seems, on Salt Lake City, which we'll get to. But they're I mean, I don't know. They're kind of like getting us back into the Mary world a little bit. Yeah, everything's fine again with Mary.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's. I don't agree with those takes, but I love hearing other people that love Bravo. I think that's nice to know who that community is.
Yeah, I agree. And then, there was one thing we wanted to talk about. There was Vanderpump Instagram beef.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So do you want to say it or do you want me to?
If you have it there, you can go for it.
Okay, so I was scrounging for news today because I was like, what the hell are Amy and I going to talk about? I was so worried and nervous to record today. And then what do I see? But some of the biggest news I've ever seen in my life. Brock Davies slams Jax Taylor for suggesting he doesn't know him. And so I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I was like, what? Brock Davies and Jax? I said to myself. And it looks like Jax framed a picture frame of something in his house, right? Or some.
Yeah, he's posting these very staged photos of him in his new home where he's just posing, putting up a mirror or like whatever.
Yeah. So look at me.
Yeah. And people were commenting like, or it was like, what were they saying? Because people
said he hung up something in his house. He goes, look at this thing I hung in my house, and then someone said, Brock could have put that up in less than 5 minutes, and then they put 7 crying, laughing emojis. So I was like, well, first of all, I was like, it's Rob, but it doesn't matter because Brock did that kind of retread, where he put. But I'm like, that's more Rob's thing.
Yeah, that's why I got confused. I was like, wait. But yeah, he did it also.
Brock did it also, but do you remember it was unfortunate? It ripped out the roots of that wall, and the wall ended up collapsing at Charlie's apartment. But then Jax, you got to hand it to him. He loves commenting back. He said, "Who?" ? And then Brock, this sent Brock absolutely
nuclear
up the wall. He said, I don't know how this even got on his radar. Someone must have told him. And I didn't see any of this, but he put up a story. He said, considering that you have me blocked, that means you must know who I am. But but as a refresher to you, I am the one who took your little cruise to school while you were in rehab, buddy. And I use the term rehab very loosely. So he went, he said everything you could ever say in this message back.
So pissed off.
I think that, it kind of maybe triggers an insecurity to say, like, Jax has this thing where he says, like, I don't know that person. Like, they're not on my show. Like, who the hell is Charlie, or what, you know what I mean? And I think Brock being lumped into that category really ruffled his feathers, and then he wanted to tell the world, you must know who I am because I had to take your baby boy to school while you were getting treatment. Yeah. But then he deleted this.
It really is wild that they're all just like, I don't know, like there's this big family group where they're doing childcare amongst all of them. Like he also hangs out with like Lala's daughter, and I didn't even know that Brittany was that close with them.
Yeah, I didn't either. I would have never thought. I mean, it's good to know. I mean, Brock told us now, so we know. But yeah, I would have never thought that one of the main asks or like people to go to for help, with your child would be Brock Davies.
Right.
So I think it's right
Yeah,
for him.
they're all in the valley, so it's like Brittany was probably like, Jax isn't even here anymore. Like, I'm just by myself. Can you help me out and just pick him up for me?
Yeah.
Like, maybe he even goes to the same school as Summer. I don't know. Summer Moon.
It's possible. And you saw that this is kind of lesser news, but you saw Brock with blonde hair, right?
Oh, yeah, I did. Also, did you see that Ariana was clapping back on Instagram because people were saying that her boyfriend isn't hot? And then she would
No.
reply and be like, "You're the ugliest little bitch I've ever seen."
Point me to it. Point me to it now.
Hold on.
She said, "Who said that?
She
Who
said-
said to Daniel? Daniel is not hot."
Someone said, sorry, but your boyfriend is busted. And she said, "You're easily top 3 ugliest men I've ever seen."
Oh my
And
God!
then someone else said, "Just stating the facts, she can do much better." And she said, "Just stating facts, balding, red nose, beady eyes, no lips, sun damage, IDK if that's your wife, but she could do much better."
Ariana posted those comments to underneath her an Instagram.
Yeah, I saw that like right
Red
after all
nose?
the Brock thing, and I was like, damn, everyone's like pissed.
Ariana said, "What did she say? Red nose, balding, busted."
Ugliest, top 3 ugliest men I've ever seen.
Could you imagine if you were told that by Ariana? Did she ever? Are these just left for the world to see?
Probably.
I haven't heard Ariana talk critically of anyone. You're easily top 3 ugliest men I've ever seen. Could you imagine
It
if
evokes
you
the way she used to talk about Kristen Doty in the early seasons.
just stating facts, balding, red nose, beady eyes, no lips, sun damage. I don't know if that's your wife, but she could do much better. Oh my God. Ariana is going off on these people accusing Daniel of not being attractive.
I can't imagine being that online. Like, luckily we generally don't reach a ground of popularity that we leak out into the world where we are unsafe. Mostly our comments are like enclosed.
There was a couple where they were like, who are these two monsters? Who are these two
little beady-eyed bitches?
Who is this red-nosed, beady-eyed co-host that's talking about Roni season 14?
Yeah, it got a little dicey when we were doing our best, but I really think I would have to like delete the apps off my phone if I were as famous as her. Like, people have so many opinions, I would just be unable to enjoy.
We've talked about it. You and I huddle in a corner when we get a bad review on Turtle Time. It sends us spiraling, absolutely. Every bad review. So yeah, I could not take that at all. That is the most jarring thing I've ever seen. I did not see Ariana's reign of terror on Instagram about Daniel. That is, it seems very out of character for her now because she's been in such a vaulted place for so long. Very, I don't know, not in this mindset at all. So that's shocking.
She was doing like was it after show after the Emmys with like Nene?
I didn't see
keeps
that.
Getting jobs. She's like, probably doing very well. And then she keeps getting the new season of Dancing with the Stars started this week, and then people were asking her about that. And I just wanted to shoehorn in that I really enjoyed the premiere episode.
Where of Dancing with the Stars?
The Steven Nadarosik or whatever his name is, the pommel horse guy. It was one of the most joyful performances I've ever seen.
Whoa! Wow!
I'm gonna make you watch it in our break.
You already told me who was on this, right?
Yeah,
Steve.
Phaedra's on. She was just okay. It was nothing to write home about.
Wow. Okay. So it was Ariana, and then it was Mauricio last season, right?
Right.
And then now we're in this new season, and this is the one Bravo star they have is Phaedra. You said.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good endorsement for Dancing with the Stars. I'll watch that. If you send me that clip, I'll watch that. But
don't watch the Eric Roberts one.
I forgot Eric Roberts was on Dancing with the Stars. He just had a memoir come out. I saw. What is he? Can I ask what he does?
It's just he's really struggling, and apparently he like had a car accident where his like it's like not his equilibrium, but like his like motor skills are delayed on one side of his body, and I'm like, I mean, I love the older contestants like Reginald VelJohnson from Die Hard is on it too, and he also does not do very well.
Wait. Reginald Van Johnson from Die Hard is on
dad on Family Matters too.
He's on Dancing with the Stars right now?
Yeah, but he like barely moves.
Oh no.
Like he basically like stands in place and his dancer just twirls around him and he's like
when we were guessing who was going to be on, we didn't even come close to saying Reginald VelJohnson.
It's true.
I don't know if I'm speaking out of school, but I think I'm not going to say this actually because I think it's very, very scurrilous. But one of the topics we covered today has something to do with Reginald VelJohnson, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh, no. All right. I'll look into that.
Yeah. How are we doing? I didn't think we would talk for an hour of news. We had 20 minutes of that other stuff, and then we had a lot of, Bravo-centric news, which I feel like that really put us, to a new stratosphere.
Echelon. Should we talk about Salt Lake, or do you want to huddle and return? What do you feel like doing?
I'm going to ask you truly on mic. Does Salt Lake City require the deep turtle time, like true deep dive? How do you feel, or should we maybe 20-minute generally? I don't know. You tell me.
We can just do. It wasn't like there's that much to dig into because it was kind of like getting reacquainted. So I think we can talk about like vibes, like what we thought of it as a premiere, how we feel that the season's going to be, and then we can talk about like the new chick. Is it more than one, or is it who?
Bronwyn
and
has
a snowflake. Does Brittany have a snowflake?
I think Brittany does. I'm pretty sure. I actually
friend of.
I don't know. I got to check on that. I can't believe I can't believe it. You know what? I was so taken aback because Angie K is the center snowflake holder.
But then in other key art, it's Heather.
Oh, really?
Because it's kind of weird because it they talk about it on the show, so I can talk about it. But like Heather lost a ton of weight. She alludes to
25
or whatever. Mm-hmm. And in the one where Angie's in the center, Heather's in the very back, and it looks like it was pre-weight loss. But then post-weight loss, she's in the center.
No way.
That's my immediate take.
So which art? This is huge. Angie K is in the center for this premiere. I saw it with my own eyes. But you're saying in different key art for this season, Heather is the center diamond holder, snowflake holder, as you would kind of expect.
Right. I'm gonna look up like the Bravo like website. See, look, this purple one on what site is this? This is Daily Beast or whatever. Heather is in the center.
Yeah, but she's not, they're not holding snowflakes.
That's true.
So that's not really, I don't know if that's the representation of their impact on a season. I thought it was very potentially indicative of Angie K's power this season, because usually it's like it's like how producers sort of like show the audience who is going to be less impactful this season and who is like the hero we're rooting for. So I was like, damn, I mean, Angie K is going to have a powerful enough storyline this season to warrant being the center snowflake holder.
Right. But then in the key art, she's in the back.
You do agree with me, though, there is usually some rationale behind who they let be the center diamond holder. Like Kyle Richards is the center diamond holder for 3 seasons of Beverly Hills because she's the most powerful cast member for a while.
Right. Yeah, it's just strange that the order wouldn't carry through to the official key art. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, you just stumbled upon a potentially
Conspiracy.
big conspiracy, because when I saw Angie K as the Cinder Snowflake holder, that made me think about her. I was like, is Angie going to have her best season? Because you would think that after Heather's performance in season 4, going the most viral, you could ever go in the Bravo universe, that Heather would be by far the person that they would want to honor for season 5. But
Right.
maybe
I
that's not
saw
the case.
some other Instagram feuding going on between, was it Angie and Lisa? Like in Instagram comments.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've got the steam to go through Salt Lake City, but if you want to take a certified turtle piss break, I don't mind. You choose.
I say let's just do it, and then we'll break, and then we'll do OC.
Okay. Yes. And I think that this might be a little easier to talk about this episode because it is one event with like a few flashbacks. So maybe it'll kind of keep us contained and not as, freewheeling as a traditional episode.
Right. I feel like the opening is worth mentioning. It was I was like, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
I had never seen anything like it either. It's a full, it's capitalizing on what we went through in season 4, on that like sort of, wild dramatic season. And I don't know what they're trying to say with this opening, but it has like drones, right? Like drone footage of them like breaking in through all of the cast members' houses. And it's kind of like, it's talking about what it means to be on reality television, right? Is that what
Right. Yeah, like it starts with Heather voiceover that says, we're showing the world our lives and everyone has a line they won't cross or whatever. And then it kind of takes over to each cast member in their house talking about the truths that they're revealing and all this stuff. And then it shows them like aerially, it shows them all staying in a circle, like spinning around.
And then really quick, Whitney goes, and we share our deepest, darkest secrets. And then for a really quick second, they flash to when Whitney was doing that paint sex session with Justin.
That got him fired.
Yeah, they got him fired. But you're right. It's kind of it was like referencing Monica, but not specifically, mentioning what they went through. And I feel like this whole episode sort of had that, where they went through this huge thing, and then they don't have that cast member to sort of continue to talk about. So they're sort of left with nothing, and the audience just has to remember that the Monica shit happened. But it's like, what are you guys talking about here if you're not specifically talking about Monica? I guess it's to promote possibly what's going to happen this season,
Right. And it sort of like breaks the fourth wall because it shows you that the background behind them is like fake, which they don't usually do.
Yeah, no, I had never seen that view, like the green screen with their home behind them. And big bump for Angie K. She's now considered like top 5 cast member. I mean, there's the core 4, and now Angie K. got to be a part of that drone opening. Even Mary wasn't in it. Mary was like, you can't put that drone in my house or whatever.
There's too many secrets I'm hiding.
Yeah.
Did you notice that Lisa was eating Wendy's in hers?
Yes, of course. I think it was Diet Coke and Wendy's. And she said, I forget what she said, like even our family is highlighted on this type of show. But one thing, I guess that is they keep teasing, and it's kind of like their Monica, where they were teasing the Heather call where she pushes the camera people and she's like, it was her the whole time, the tease. This one is about somebody recording them.
Right.
They reference it a lot. Like one of the cast members secretly...
Like, you've been recording us, and then there's like how could you do this to me? Like there's, the other one is like, I never thought you would get in touch with our mortal enemy. Yeah. And I'm like, is that Jen Shaw or Monica?
Yeah, I guess Monica. I also want to say something about those. I've seen that clip now so many times. Their line readings are so kind of... I don't kind of just bad, actory. All of them are really, really badly delivered. So I don't think they came from the actual footage. I think that they came in to do ADR to make this more enticing or something, because they don't sound very organic to the show.
Did you see that Monica has earned a spot on she's like the voice on House of Villains, which I don't even like know what House of Villains is. It seems like the lesser traitors.
Yeah,
the
she's
non-Emmy winning traitors.
Yeah, I've seen it. They let her be in a command center, and then when she pushes a button, she can talk to anyone in the house the whole time.
Wow.
So that's good for Monica. I think that they have, they're going to have to prove, the Salt Lake City cast members are going to have to prove that they can do this without an X factor like that, coming in. Because Monica was really the crux of everything that happened season 4, and it's what they were like dealing with and overcoming. And so now that they don't have Monica, I felt in this premiere that there was sort of a lack of true conflict for what they were going to like take into this season. I kind of felt like they were grasping at straws a little bit in this premiere of like what to make a meal out of post Monica.
Right. Well, luckily, Nick Viall made himself available, and the main big thing that they chew on this first episode is something Whitney said on the Viall Files.
Yes.
Which I'm like, we cannot escape this man.
I know. It was good. It was good though. It was he was like, we want to talk about it now?
Sure.
He goes, they play the clip or whatever, and he goes, "Is Lisa as bad as I think she is?" It was like the most loaded question. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not being like disparaging, but it was like the most loaded. It was like the most loaded questions. Like, is Lisa so shitty as hell? And Whitney was like, "I'm not saying no." And it was like very just such a leading like kind of like bad question. And
he always does that.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I mean, this is so offensive, but I was like, he I guess he had watched the season. I mean, I guess he knew enough, but I was like, I don't know why his take would be like, it was like that Lisa is shitty or whatever, but I don't know. That is so just not
Villainous.
It's like, that is not my take at all. Lisa is my favorite cast member. Lisa and Heather tied. So I don't know where that take even came from, what kind of what he was watching, some like compilations of it or whatever. But but then Whitney used that outlet to continue her feud against Lisa. She goes, I've never heard Lisa not say an apology with I forget what it was. I've never heard Lisa not say an apology that wasn't self-serving. And then she said, and also you could say that Lisa Barlow's been the villain the entire time. And so that had Lisa absolutely pissed. She listened to Nick Viall's podcast and she was fuming the entire time.
Right. And then another thing that came up, Kathy Hilton's Christmas party came up again. This is the second time this year that a housewife has talked about something that happened there is going to influence the season. It's like
BravoCon influences storylines, Watch What Happens Live, and now Kathy Hilton's Christmas party.
I know, because Mary and Angie apparently bonded there.
Yes.
And they did kind of a funny thing because Mary and Angie arrived to this Vita tequila party together, and everyone's like, since when are they BFF? And it turns out it was simply because Angie told her she had lipstick on her teeth at the reunion.
Yes. I loved that. I remember that moment. It was so funny. Angie, I love Angie's look when Mary says, "I like Angie," because it's just so sweet. She's like, "Wow, that's how I got to befriend Mary, by just being nice to her for 1 second." It's kind of a like sweet moment.
The most fickle woman alive.
Yeah, but I will say I'm worried for the future of that dynamic, because I've seen Mary with different friends in the past, and I think Angie is she's walking on thin ice potentially with Mary.
Oh yes.
Well, and just again, I like that we're just we're talking about like what was going into it, but the whole episode, this is kind of an anomaly in terms of structure. And I remember Andy Cohen was talking about it, but he was like, I've never seen an episode like this where the premiere is just fully focused on one event. Mm-hmm. And and it was unusual because they are I think they were 3 weeks into filming based on when the flashbacks, when they say the flashbacks, occurred. And so they decided to do this, like, I don't know if this is called in media res, but they decided to like have one event from front to back and then tell us what led up to it with flashbacks from the filming that occurred pre Bezos party. But I don't know, ultimately, I don't know if that like structure worked for me.
Yeah. It was kind of confusing because you weren't sure if it was going to go all the way back, like, and start from there. Because, like 2 weeks earlier, and then the rest of the episode would lead to the party, but you were at the party, but then they'd flash back basically for everybody.
Yes. And it made me kind of worried about like what they were doing for like 3 weeks of filming. If they could only pull like 3 pretty lackluster scenes where they're just getting together and sharing why they're mad at each other. So I felt like maybe quite possibly there was a lot of pressure on the Bezos party because maybe some producers were like, we've been filming for 3 weeks. A lot of this shit is potentially garbage. So you really need to bring it for this first all cast party. And, and that's why they did it this way. But it was a little jarring to go back and forth, I felt. And it made the conflict seem a lot less earned because we weren't emotionally invested in what the hell they were talking about because we just got little 1-minute dips into those conflict scenes, the start of those conflict scenes.
I am adjusting my cushion. I'm not leaving.
Okay.
I did need to know more about Bronwyn having 6 dogs who are named after characters from House of Cards.
I thought of you during that. I was like Frank Underwood. I was thinking of all the other cast members on that show, but I was like, you named your dog possibly Frank Underwood. They're
all boxers too, which having 6 boxers is insane.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. Well, let's talk about, because Bronwyn is basically the huge cast addition. I felt that this party was almost like a friend of / full-time cast member audition space. I felt like they maybe went 3 weeks of filming and then they were like, Heather, do you have any friends? And she's like, Brittany, she's dating one of the Allman Brothers' nephews. Right. And then Lisa was like, my friend Bronwyn. And then Whitney brought a friend. And and then there was like a bunch of other potential cast members. And I feel like quite possibly once they saw Bronwyn and Brittany, they were like, these people brought something. And then that was the tryouts, and then, they got to continue on and they became more fleshed out as the season went on.
Right. Yeah, I will say Bronwyn held her own immediately. Like, you can tell she's clearly trying to sidle up to Mary. Like, I think she thinks Mary's a threat. And so she's trying to get on her good side quickly. Mm-hmm. Because she immediately pitted Brittany against Mary.
Yes. Yeah. I think, this was sort of a lackluster episode for me, but I rewatched it. And I think that moment where Brittany kind of says like all the wrong things to Bronwyn and Mary was kind of an interesting moment. That was when she said, I really like your costume, right. To Bronwyn. And then Bronwyn got as offended as you could ever be by that.
And she made her being offended. She looped Mary into it. She was like, don't say that in front of me and Mary, because me and Mary like wear fashion, not and Mary immediately like took the bait and was like, yeah, like you're our enemy now, like you're disgusting.
Yeah. And Mary was wearing fashion too, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
And what was she saying? Like, she tried to was it Mary was saying something along the lines of like, I like to, buy extravagant things or like treat myself because I didn't always have everything I needed growing up in a big family or whatever. And then Brittany was like, yeah, I grew up poor too, and like would put like King's Hawaiian rolls in my purse. And Mary was like, that is sick. Like, I was nothing like that. I would never do that. That's wrong and gross.
Yeah. She said, I didn't say I was poor. And I didn't say I put rolls in my purse. She immediately distanced herself from the character that Brittany painted. And then Brittany also said, I think I was divided on whether Brittany was intentionally, you know, throwing shade at them, but I do think she was, because she said costume, which you kind of know that's a loaded term. And then she said, when Mary was talking about how much fashion she has a whole like living room dedicated to clothes. Brittany said, "So you're a hoarder," or that explains your hoarder tendencies. And I don't think you say costume and hoarder in the same conversation if you're like treading lightly and trying to be friends with people.
Yeah, Bronwyn was like, "Oh Lord, not these words, like you keep messing up."
Yeah.
But that is one thing about Mary. Like they showed her quote closet, which was like a converted bedroom or whatever, and it like does not give me a feeling of luxury. Like her house like freaks me out.
Yeah.
And it's weird because her clothes are expensive. Like the outfits that these women wear are like $10,000 a day. Like everything they wear is like each item is over $1,000. Like it's so expensive. But I'm like, it doesn't translate into like every other part of their life. That's why it's like Lisa Vanderpump and like only a handful of housewives exude actual wealth.
Right.
And I'm like, the fashion part of it, I'm like, I guess you can use a stylist. You could blow your cash the way like Dorit does, just specifically on that to keep up with the Joneses. But like their houses like don't look that nice. Like, I'm like, what is going on?
Well, being rich doesn't necessarily, help your taste. And maybe Mary, just doesn't have the best taste in how she. Do you remember like when they showed her house,
her
Heather
Wonka ass house?
Yeah, it was big like candy cane furniture and like I forget, like sort of like a Reese's cup couch and Heather remember she was trying to be nice, but she said Mary has eclectic style because she had to sit on the top of one of those like candy pieces of furniture, and Mary got so upset that
Mary's
she had
like,
even.
You're a fugly inbred bitch.
Yeah, Mary absolutely hated that. But no, I think the same thing. I'm like, Mary's house does seem slightly like it gives off a little bit like you did go into the one of the rooms that Willy Wonka didn't finish, making ready for the tour.
Right. We also need to mention that there was a little bit of cross promo built in. One of the friends, was it who brought this woman that's going to be on Sold on SLC?
I wasn't sure. I think I blinked or I looked down for 1 second because I didn't see the correlation, but I did see the ad for Sold on SLC. But I didn't know that there was a friend. I didn't know there was a friend who specifically was the person that they were announcing to be on that show.
One of the women brought a cast member from that show as her friend, and I'm blanking on who it was, but I'm like, damn, like this, it's funny because I've always watched $1 Million Listing, like literally the whole time it's been on, both LA and New York. And then now there's this like Selling Sunset phenomenon, and then they gave Ryan Serhant a Netflix spinoff, and it's like there's just this boom of real estate shows happening where I'm like, they've been on forever, but people have decided recently that they love them.
Yeah. And I think that there's just so many more shows now, and like people just want 20% of them to be like real estate oriented, like there's just more opportunities for shows and people just absolutely love that kind of content. Yeah.
I'm considering watching the new season of Selling Sunset just because I have nothing better to do with my time.
Yeah, Mauricio's show didn't really adhere to that clamor for real estate type content. Buying Beverly Hills. Yeah. I don't, this is really personal, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I don't derive a lot of pleasure from real estate shows.
Yeah. I always have historically, and then watching Selling Sunset and even the Ryan Serhant one, those are even that much more phony than the Bravo ones. Like the Bravo ones, of course, the same with all shows like House Hunters or like anything like that. They're pulling the wool over your eyes in the sense that like the house has already been sold, it's already been purchased, like they're just filming after the fact. So like everything, the drama of like the phone calls back and forth is like total bullshit.
Yeah.
But I've always thought and hope that the actual deal, like if you check the listing, like he did in fact sell that, or like the price is right or whatever. But on like Selling Sunset, I'm like, none of this is anything.
Right.
Like, this is just an absolute farce, which is fine if that's what you're going to it for. But like the $1 Million Listing guys, I'm like Jimmy works in real estate, and I'm like, he will run into these guys. You know what I mean? Like they're like real humans.
Yeah, I don't like the pure farce of that, because if it's not about that actual part, then it's completely meaningless. Like I liked House Hunters for a second during COVID. I was like, this is the easiest thing in the world to watch. It's so easy. And then you find out that they have already purchased the house when they're showing people the 3 houses. So when they're like, this house has like 6 stairs missing and it stinks. And then they show these 2 other beautiful houses, and you're like, don't choose the middle one. That was the worst one. And they're like, we have to make a decision here. I want this house that has that stench. And I was like, this just renders it useless.
I love watching normal people have to come up with reasons why a house is good or bad, and like they really like struggle to. That's why it's so funny and frustrating to watch, because you're like, what are you talking about? Like they'll be like, I really need a closet for my gecko clothes, and this house doesn't have that. And you're like, what?
You're right. It's like you'll have enough room for all those different clothes that you like.
I will say the realty is House Hunters International, because the reasons that these usually American couples are moving all over the world are always so suspicious.
Like, is it really? It's like, I had to get my family out of there.
Yeah, it's like, we need to move to the city center of Berlin for reasons unknown, and like we can only afford a 1-bedroom, and I have 3 kids. Like, it's always like, what did you do?
Wow. I started to dip into international, and I don't remember that aspect of it. But I might, but it made me a little bummed out to know that there was no truth to this, to this touring and stuff. And I also think a part of it is that I know I'll never own a house. So it kind of makes me sad to see people like, making these decisions,
Sure. Yeah. Also, I've listened to other people talk about like Selling Sunset and stuff, and like pretending as if the version of LA shown on that is like in any world anywhere near the way any of us live. Like the houses are so ugly. Like the people dress absolutely batshit insane. Like it's just like not reality. But like that can be fun. Yeah. But like certainly don't come to it for reality.
Yeah. Do you remember when we drove by the Oppenheimer boys office, and it said, please do not look in our windows. Keep walking. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Because people have just been people have just been peeking in because they have those windows right on Sunset Boulevard or whatever.
They should make it. It could be one-way glass, and it could just be a mirror on the inside so that we could see in, but the Oppenheim boys don't have to be scared.
I like that.
Like cats can look at birds, but the birds can't see that there's like a cat like drooling on the other side of the window.
Who has that? Who has those kind?
Back in like my childhood, when we would board our cat when we would travel, they had like the cat kennels had like one-way windows so that they could look at the birds, but the birds wouldn't know that they were near death.
And you would place so you'd place the cat kennel in some bird you
have like a bird feeder right outside so that the cats can be entertained,
but then
the birds aren't scared.
Wow. And so the cat would just be, like you said, kind of licking its lips, looking like the cat that could potentially eat the canary, and the canary has no clue.
Right. Or like an interrogation room, I guess, is a similar principle.
Oh, right. Of course. I'm familiar with that type of, what is it? Those are called one-way windows?
Yeah, right?
One-way mirrors.
Or
Yeah.
two-way mirror.
Two-way. I've never been. Actually, I was gonna say I've never been in a room that had that, but I
That's what you
actually
think.
one time I was in the mall when I was a little like 12 years old, and I was with my friends, and I got pulled into one of the back rooms at the mall, and they showed me the trailer for the South Park movie, and I didn't.
I need more information. I'm
I'll tell
picturing you getting like yoinked by your shirt into like a dark room, and they're like, "Watch this."
I'll tell you off mic, but I just remembered clearly that there was
I think you just like unearthed some trauma right now.
right.
Like,
So anyway, another thing about this, how far are we into? We're like halfway through this party, Bezos party,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, here's my problem. I just want to say it generally, because they don't want to talk about Monica a lot. It seemed like they had to dredge up a bunch of garbage to be mad at each other about. That's very clear with the Meredith thing that she's like, I think it's legitimately odd that Whitney did make bath bombs, but it's not enough to start up the season for Meredith to use that as one of the main points of conflict. And even the Nick Viall thing, I mean, God bless him, but I don't even know if an offhanded comment needed to be treated fully like the way Lisa gave clout to this conflict that was started. I felt like they went through such a huge thing, and I know that Monica is not a part of it, and they want to make us forget that they went through that, but it's a little jarring for them to go back to this like kind of garbage to start the season. Right. And I felt like all of them were
Angie and Meredith, like, you said that I don't own my house or whatever. I'm like, all right, like,
yeah, and we can talk about it now, I think. But Angie, once Meredith says, like, why the hell would you make bath bombs? I love baths the most. And I did think it was odd because Whitney, they showed Whitney's ad for the bath bomb, and it was like, for the girl that loves baths. And I was like, Whitney, it is so clearly Meredith's thing that like you in a bathtub selling bath bombs. Like, I can understand why Meredith thought that was a little odd for you to go into that business. Yeah, a little bit of a cheater brand. And then
girl
yeah, and then Angie K wants a piece during that conversation. She goes, step aside, Whitney. I've got my own grievance against Meredith. And they reference these conversations that they had that we're just seeing in flashbacks or whatever. But she was like, I heard that you wanted an apology from me. Well, look at this scroll that I have in my bag that has all of the things that you need to apologize for me about. And I feel like Angie got a little affected by the prop comedy of her big sunglasses, and went a little too far with this one. And I didn't find too much merit to this scroll.
I knew you were gonna hate the scroll.
How did you know? Do you think it could have gone either way?
I just felt in my heart that you would think it was too much, and I would agree, but something about the literal comedy of a scroll unfurling kind of got me.
All right. Okay. Well, let's we're a little divided here, so if
and it was very in line with her Greek roots.
Scrolls. Oh, I didn't think about that. Ancient Greek mythology and scrolls.
Like that guy, remember on Rome when he would read the news?
Absolutely. Oh my God. I love Rome, the town crier. He would scream in the center of town and if you were a townsperson, you would just have to sit there to get the latest
Twitter/news. I did see the other day Rome was like, what's buzzing or whatever on the Max app, and I was like, hell yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't get me started on Rome.
That's our origin. That was our original tangent.
Yeah. The worst thing in the world is that I feel like there could have been so much Rome fever and brought it back for a movie or something, but the fact that that wonderful actor, one of the most iconic performances I've ever seen in my life, Ray Stevenson. Oh my God. It's so sad that like the future of Rome can't happen. But you're exactly right. It was giving Rome. It was giving ancient Greece. But I felt the energy of Angie wanting that moment a little too desperately. And I think I just felt the intentionality behind that. And I didn't find the the humor in it a little too, for me personally.
Sure. I also want to do a quick sidebar that Meredith said that she's gotten multiple breast reductions and that her breast tissue always keeps coming back, which I'm like, that is good to know. Second of all,
good to know that
that it could like revert, because I'm like, that sucks. That's annoying. And then Molly Sims said on Watch What Happens Live that she would never do the laser that Tamra did because it fucks up your whatever you call it, your skin barrier.
Yeah.
And Lisa Barlow was like, shit, I have mine scheduled. I'm going to cancel it.
Yeah. And Molly said, I saw that. Molly Sims goes, let's talk after this because I'm really worried for you. Do you think Tamra was watching Watch What Happens Live with her Band-Aids all over her head and saw Watch What Happens Live and was like, oh my God, I just messed up my skin barrier to shit?
Oh, no.
She should have, oh my God, if I did that laser facelift and I found out that they were talking about it 2 weeks later saying it ruins your face, I'd be so bummed out.
Yeah. I mean, it'll heal, but yeah. I mean, Tamra was at Dancing with the Stars this week supporting Phaedra, so she's obviously feeling fine.
Oh, is it better? I haven't seen what it looks like post lasers.
She looks fine. She looks good. Yeah.
Oh. All right. I hadn't
that. Molly Sims.
Damn, Molly Sims. Did you think Molly Sims did a good job on Watch What Happens Live?
Andy was getting a little mad at her for cursing too much.
Yeah, she was cursing. And I also was worried. I was like, is she one of those guests that the PR person says, oh, they watch everything. They love all Bravo shows. And then they kind of just like have to fake their way through it. I don't know if that was the case, but I was a little worried.
I was glad someone asked her about Rachel Zoe's divorce because she was one of the prominent clients on the Rachel Zoe project.
Oh, she was?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And that was a Bravo show.
It was.
So maybe she does have more Bravo knowledge than I thought. But it was kind of, Molly Sims embodied why I get uncomfortable watching Watch What Happens Live. When the celebrity guest just kind of fully flops and I know Andy's like getting mad at them, I can't watch that kind of stuff.
She was a little aloof, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. Lisa gives a speech and it sounds like it's just going to be a nice speech and she's getting emotional about everyone supporting her now that like her son is gone and everything. And then she just does an immediate pivot and goes, but what I don't love are podcasts, and then looks at Whitney and is like, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. I wish she would have said that a little better. Like it was a little
clunky.
a little clunky. It was like, I don't like podcasts, and then Whitney knows what she's talking about. I did like what 1 second right before that speech, I did like when Lisa was talking about Jack's Bogota trip and she was like, it was just so interesting to me what she was interested in for him. She was like he is running around Bogota loving it. He's found all the best bookstores. He's found all the best coffee shops. He's finding I was like, damn, he's yelping the shit out of Bogota. It's just
Michelin star restaurants. I'm like, I don't think that's the point of a mission.
That too, but also it's just so funny to be like, my kid is in a city and he's finding stuff. I mean, it's like
he's on TripAdvisor up the ass.
I mean, it is now not so phenomenal to go to a city and go on Yelp and find where stuff is. But I just thought that was the takeaway. But I thought it was funny, in a Lisa Barlow way.
I did notice. So her party was called like Besos party, as in like kisses, and then she was like, I just wanted it to evoke like little kisses, and then Heather was like besitos. Like I got the vibe that they speak Spanish, and I'm like, was that a Mormon travel thing? Like, I kind of want to know more about that,
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. Heather said like besitos, and then
like I felt like they were alluding to the fact that maybe they speak Spanish.
Oh,
but I don't know if that's come up before.
Let's find out.
Yeah, we should. I could do a single lick.
Yeah.
But,
sorry. No, you go ahead, and then I just want to say something about Whitney after you say this.
I just wanted to add this Mary line because she sees that Brittany's name is next to her at the table, and she's like, switch it. I don't want her to stick bread in my purse. And she's like, obviously she was doing that recently because when you're little, you don't have a purse.
Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of made sense to me.
I was like, you're probably right.
Yeah. Oh, right. And it was a kind of a cool reveal because Lisa keeps them sort of out in the snow for a long time. And then she finally goes, now let's go to this party. And then they open that like door or whatever. And then they see this like really nice, well decorated dinner party for all of them.
I know. I forget that they always are forced to hang out in the snow because of when they film. Like it's February.
Yeah. We get a little more about Bronwyn, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
She married someone that is 26 years her senior.
Yeah.
So she's got a couple stepchildren, and one of them is 6 months older than her.
Wild. And she's kind of bonding with Whitney about that because Whitney's like, my stepson is only 5 years younger than me. I'm kind of curious to see more about Bronwyn. She seems like she might end up being insufferable, but she's so self-possessed that I appreciate it. Like, I feel like I don't really need to like worry about her.
Yeah, yes, I'm a little like I need to see more for sure. There was some stuff that I felt was a little off for me, but then she did handle herself well at the dinner when she was kind of telling Angie, she was like, let's draw a line and let's move forward. And instead of how some new full-time cast members would absolutely go like ape shit and try to get be the center of attention, she kind of held court in an interesting way.
Yeah.
But
she mediated.
She mediated. But I need to know more. There was I felt a little flicker of like RHONY season 14 with her a little bit. Like I was like, are you bringing some like RHONY season 14 energy to this show? Uh-huh. I wasn't sure if she fully fits in with the current personalities, but the jury's still out. And
the lunch flashback of her outfit was a lot.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate that flashback. So I think that it could go either way, but you're definitely right. She handled herself well for the most part at the actual dinner. I wasn't annoyed by her, and a lot of new full-time cast members, we've seen it countless times. They don't handle themselves well, especially in the first episode.
Right. Mary also says that she tries to be mostly vegan because she said steak stays in your colon for like weeks and weeks.
Yeah. I thought about myself and my relationship with meat, and you don't eat meat. So
I don't. I was like, wow, I guess I haven't really thought about that, but I don't think that's a real big concern.
I mean, personally, it's not something I think about. Mary has a lot of new things that we learn every episode, like her take on baths.
Yeah, you never know what she's going to find disgusting.
Yeah, like she hated the idea of putting any type of food in your purse. It's like you would never know that Mary would have such a staunch opinion about that.
She was like, that is wrong. Like she was like, that is not okay.
Yeah. And then the table gets a little bit let's sing for this Bezos supper here a little bit. And this is when I think it devolves into conflict that I didn't like because I didn't think it was earned. It's like they're really trying to take advantage of it. And I think it was really like a producer was like, hey guys, we just filmed for 3 weeks. We don't have Monica. We need to get some shit popping over here because Lisa's energy, Angie's energy, Heather's energy, Whitney's, they're all like at the top of out of 10, all of them. Absolutely.
Within minutes, everyone is fighting like in every direction to the point where you can't even keep straight who's pissed at who. It's all just rehashing of past seasons, like the Utah Jazz like blowjob story resurfaces. Angie apparently told Lisa what Whitney said,
which I was like, why are you mad about that? That is the entire
on a show.
That is the entire show, and that I mean, if you're going to get mad at that, what's the future of this franchise? All you do is disseminate information to another cast member, and it wasn't in a nefarious way. Angie's telling Whitney that Lisa is upset with her. So Lisa, she's my favorite cast member on Salt Lake City, but she felt a little out of character. I felt like she needed to make season 5 vibrant without Monica because she did things that I never thought I would see her see. She takes umbrage with the fact that someone said something about where she stood with Whitney, which I thought was really weird. And then when she gets even more heated, I think she took her own glass I looked at it twice and smashed it on the floor at her own dinner. And I don't think I've ever seen Lisa throw something before in my life. It felt completely not justified at all, like in this moment.
Yeah. And like the thing that Whitney said on the podcast was that she thinks that Lisa's a villain, and then she had a line ready like, I'll be your villain, bitch, and like throws the glass, and everyone's kind of like, there's not really an outrage about the glass. Everyone's just kind of like, what?
I think last season, totally. Meredith goes, who threw that? And I think last season there was an Angie K glass throw, if I don't remember correctly, and you and I barely covered it because they gave it the same edit where it's like, ooh, that was not the right moment for a glass throw. We saved those for like iconic moments. This thing flopped. That after
like Pioneer?
Yes.
Yes. Whatever. Yeah.
Yes. Angie K stood up. I do like Angie K. I've gotten so much more acclimated to her. I really do think she's really fun, but she needs to wear off these rough edges where she has flop energy, and she had some major flop energy in this episode. I thought the scroll was a flop. I thought her going to the mattresses with Meredith about this garbage, like just like trying to really make Meredith like apologize to her, and a dog with a bone syndrome, not letting it go. I was like, come on, like move past it. Even Heather had to put a napkin on her head because Angie K was going off too much.
Right. And then Whitney decides to take a certain angle where she says that Lisa is weaponizing her trauma. And apparently Lisa sent her a text message that said, keep healing, with a prayer, which I don't know if I brought it up last time, but I watched that Mormon Wives Hulu show, and all of them, Whitney and Katie Maloney, all talk like that. So it's triple confirmed that that's a Utah thing.
I cannot believe that. Like, the fact that there are so many Bravo personalities that have that way of saying those words, and to find that it has a connection and that there's another show that illustrates that, I was stunned by that. Kate, they all have this Rill. So Whitney has this moment where she goes, you want to see healed Whitney, fuck you, Lisa Barlow. But also right before that moment, which was way too dramatic for what it actually was, I felt completely out of the realm of normal conflict there. But Whitney does this thing where she says, I am not a liar. I've never lied in my life. Don't cast me as a liar. And Heather, who has a tumultuous relationship with Whitney, she loves her and she hates her because Whitney treats Heather like absolute shit. Yeah. Heather has to laugh at the table at Whitney declaring herself not a liar. And then that brings everyone on this cast together, which shows you where their true loyalties are on this cast. Lisa, Meredith, and Heather are all united in the fact that Whitney scrounges up shit and lies all of the time, and they point out very specific examples that they have from the past. Meredith has had a secret grudge against Whitney for saying that Meredith was not doing something weird instead of going to her father's memorial. Heather has the absolute totally caught red-handed where she says that she read out loud every single word of her book to Whitney, and Whitney said, I didn't approve of that, and Heather knows that's a complete lie. And then Lisa, I forget what her lying example was. I guess she's using the Nick Viall stuff. So it's like, Whitney, why would you get into that? You are the one who stirs up the most fake shit on this show. I think that Whitney feels the most out of place on this cast, and maybe the one that doesn't have the most engaging personal life going forward. So she is the one that drudges up the most fake shit, and they all called her out on that.
Right. And she really, she goes, I will not be called a liar. I will not let you throw my trauma in my face as a weapon. This is Hild Whitney. I am strong. I can stand up for myself. I don't need you. And I'm like, what is happening?
It was a spin. It was Lisa rightly calls it a full-blown spin. Lisa said nothing about her healing. She said, I forget what it was, reference it or something. And Whitney said, oh, I have got the healing journey, ace up my sleeve. I'm going to say you weaponized my trauma against me, which is absolutely not at all what Lisa did. It's kind of like low-hanging fruit for Whitney to make that claim. Lisa goes, that's not what I'm doing. You're spinning the shit out of this. Another Whitney lie moment, which I remember from last season, is when Whitney got really upset that when Whitney's friend died, she said that Lisa didn't immediately reach out to her or whatever when they were in a good place. And Whitney went to that party and said, Lisa, you treated me like absolute shit. You never reached out or whatever. And Lisa had the proof that she had reached out and also sent flowers and also talked to her. And they had a scene where she said, oh my God, Whitney, I barely know how to talk to you. I'm so sorry for your friend. So Whitney also completely lied about Lisa's character, about how she dealt with a friend passing. So Whitney is a complete liar. And there's so many examples of that.
I did she made her scene on the way out, and we got the classic moment that I saw a lot of screenshots of the band sitting there uncomfortably, kind of smiling and being like, what in the hell are these ladies up to?
Yeah. And also I hate this because it takes me out of it. I just hate when an event turns into everyone watching a show. Like the Vanderpump Rules season 11 is the worst example of this, where you just watch everyone watching Vanderpump Rules take place. I wish that they would have all just sat down, ate dinner, and just ignored the cameras, because it's just so jarring to see everyone watching this as if it's television. It's just so if you and I were ever in the background of a scene, we have to promise that we would look away completely and just eat dinner,
Yeah. And then the last thing is that I think, does Angie go after Whitney, and then Heather's like, what? I thought Angie was my girl. And Lisa's like, well, you were wrong about that. I guess she's Whitney's girl.
Yeah, and that was also just...
I don't care.
I don't care, and also that's not true. Angie can defend Whitney for a second because she's her friend and Lisa's friend. So that also felt like a forced moment. So it's kind of that was, the way we talked about it and the way I felt, I was like, that was a little rough.
Yeah. I enjoyed myself. It's a good cast. It's fun to watch, but whether or not there will be real meat, I don't know. But I feel like if any franchise can cruise a little bit on humor, it's this one.
For sure. I kind of wish they would have cruised, through humor for a little bit before getting to this, explosive dinner, which I don't think was very explosive at all. But you're right. I am not counting this cast out at all. They've proven time and time again that they can bring it. I think that it's a hard hand to be dealt with this post Monica reality, because they had the most crucial thing happen to them, and now they can barely talk about it because producers don't want to reinforce the fact that Monica's gone. So they're trying to just work with that, and I'm sure it will get better. But some of the stuff was kind of a bummer to me.
Right. Well, I think it's a great companion to OC. Now talking about that, I'm kind of excited to watch the new one tonight. And I love that online there's sort of a backlash about Katie. She apparently said again publicly that she has more evidence of Heather calling the paparazzi, and the consensus from every fan account and every tweet I've seen is literally no one cares. You've finally gone too far. No one gives a shit.
Well, there's one person that cares. He is the co-host of Turtle Time. Katie, if you want to come on Turtle Time and talk about all of the evidence you have, we'll give you a 2-hour special. You can tell us absolutely everything. I just love that.
Heather get us shut down.
I love that I know that Heather did this. I absolutely know that she paid for a TMZ photographer to go into Disneyland and take that Splash Mountain photo. I know it happened. So I love now that it's gotten to the point where Heather keeps denying it, so it's making it worse and worse. And I don't give a shit that no one else cares that Heather got caught red-handed. It's iconic that Katie wants to keep bringing it up, and I'm loving it. Katie, please come on Turtle Time. I will listen to every detail of that. I love it.
Well, my mom told me the other day that we should have more guests. So
really,
yeah.
Oh, I was totally thinking. I forgot to say this, but the fact that I'll say his name again. Nick Vial had that moment where you have Whitney on. She talks for 2 hours. If you just ask any Bravo question. There's kind of a pretty good chance if they say anything of merit.
Incredible if there's a fight on Summer House this season, and they're like, well, what you said on Turtle Time doesn't sound like what you just told me, and then they play it back, and we're like,
yeah. Oh wait, you said you hadn't seen Challengers, because on Turtle Time you said that you had gotten a flight to LA and you hadn't seen Challengers yet. Like they ripped that clip. It's like the most explosive moment in Summer House. No. But you're right. Your mom is right. Everyone is right. I think that next time, we have a guest, we will try to get that soundbite that is going to be crucial to forthcoming seasons of these franchises. Absolutely.
Yeah. That should be our goal. Like, we'll be like,
that's like actually everyone's goal is to have like a great interview, and that's like something that we like absolutely did not do with West. But yeah, we'll try that. Of course, when we have future guests, we'll ask them Bravo-centric questions about feuds and conflict, and try to get clickbait sound bites from them.
Yeah. Oh my God. Something to think about. Yeah. Something to chew on.
I can't believe that you and I are at an hour and 50 minutes. Do we even have to? I know we have to talk about OC, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll do a little quickeroony. We'll go watch, come back and do like a 15-minute download, and then that'll be it.
And I wanted to apologize. My audio was bad last episode. Did you ever listen to it? The second half? Did you ever hear it?
I heard blips. I don't think it was so terrible.
Oh,
we
yeah.
Put in comments, did we?
Well, yeah, but it was pure shit, and I'm not going to do that. That was the first time I failed Riverside, but that's not going to happen when we come back. So it's going to be hopefully very good audio this whole time. So, Amy, you want to take it together, separately, Certified Turtle Piss, watch that episode, then come right back for the Little Turtle Cuties and Villa Rosa VIPs?
Let's do it.
Do you feel proud of the episode thus far?
I love it.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, so Little Turtle Cuties, we will be black in the blink of a Certified Turtle Piss break. We're back.
Hello.
We just got back from a Certified Turtle Piss break.
It was no time at all.
No time at all. But in actuality, Amy and I, we went to our separate locations and we watched Real Housewives of Orange County.
Yep. It was called Singled Out. What does that mean? Except for Emily feeling singled out about her body.
I really don't know. I didn't know it was called that. I'm going to say up front, you and I kind of winked at each other when we got back on. We said this is going to be a complete breeze. That was a horrible episode of Real Housewives of Orange County. I don't know if this is too hot of a take and I'm going to regret it or something, but that was absolutely horrendous from almost start to finish. Very bad.
Right. I feel like nothing happened.
It made Salt Lake City premiere look like I don't. What's a really good thing? The best thing I've ever seen in my life. Why was I critical of Salt Lake City? That was awful from everything about it. I mean, the only redeeming scenes were possibly the scene with Jen and Dawson. I kind of liked that. A little bit of reality, something that was deep and powerful going on. But like that fiesta was dog shit.
That was not a fiesta.
That was a horrible party. The Shannon and Vicky stuff, I thought there'd be a little more merit to that. It was okay.
Yeah.
And then
it was kind of just all over the place. The Vicky and Shannon, you didn't really get a real flavor for it. But I did like that they mentioned again that it was so egregious for Tamara to have left since they have formed an LLC.
Yeah, I love when they talk about that.
In that, we can relate to that. We have an LLC.
I know. I love that. I love hearing LLC stuff. And they're like, we had so much planned for 3 people. Like, and it's like, so making it 2 people, that's really hard. It was like, there was like, like the 3 Stooges. If you would have gone to 2 Stooges, it's like you completely change your routine.
I actually can't believe we didn't go to that.
I know. What the hell were we thinking? I think OC was like out of sight, out of mind, and we were just like, we're done with that. Like, we don't need to think about this. I have to say, Emily's, what Emily brought to the table here, I mean, that's one of the worst executed conflicts I've ever seen. Absolutely.
I felt bad because it's just like true insecurity. Like, but I was confused because I'm glad she kind of clarified it by the end, or Heather clarified it, because earlier in the episode she's saying that she felt bad because she was forced to bring her own jeans as if like there wasn't something there that would fit her. And then the dress that she did have to wear was a size 12 and she was insulted because she's not a size 12. And I was like looking at the video and I was like, I mean, it looks like it fits you. So like, what are you trying to say? Like, what do you mean?
I don't know what she's trying to say either. And Heather said, you know, it fit like a glove.
You sent the measurements and the people made it and it equaled a 12, which I understand that like different brands run differently. Like we all know there are certain places you go where you feel like a disgusting piece of shit because their sizes run small, and there are brands where they're very generous with their sizing and you get to feel skinny because a size 12 is massive, whereas other places it's like more like an 8.
Sometimes I order a large and it fits me like a, you know, I can barely even wear it. It's like, this happens all the time.
But I'm like, do you think she was like conniving with the seamstress to be like, put a 12 tag on it, she'll feel like shit? Like,
I don't know.
Like, you're allowed to feel like, I understand, especially because we've met a lot of these housewives and their body size is not normal. Yeah. Like they're like ungodly petite. Yeah.
They look like Mike TV, like you were talking about 4 hours ago. They're so much smaller in person than you could ever imagine.
Yeah, so I totally understand if you're like a normal sized woman and you're forced to like walk a runway with all these other people, that's like traumatizing, but it's also like not Heather's problem.
Exactly. I'm fine with Emily having those feelings. I would have those feelings. It's very, relatable, and it makes so much sense that she felt that way. I can't argue with that she went into the bathroom and cried. But what was awful was how she handled it. She treated Heather like absolute shit. She tried to make a mountain out of a molehill. She was antagonistic to Heather. She made Heather, she specifically said that Heather didn't apologize when Heather did, and tried to just spin her wheels and make it more, which is so representative of how they were all treating Heather last season. I'm like, I can't see this anymore. Give it up with Heather. She barely does anything wrong, and when she does, I guess it's like the paparazzi at Disneyland. It's like, we'll never know the truth, but this was just so not Heather's fault. And Heather she gave you enough grace. She gave you like 10 minutes of attention, did everything right, and then you kept doubling down. Heather said, I'm out of here. I don't want any more of this. I'm done.
That Katie tried to double down and was like, when Heather hears something that she's not perfect, she just can't take it. I'm like, we don't need your take on this.
Yeah, you're trying to promote that Disneyland paparazzi hoax. No, I was just...
That's where I get radicalized. I'm like, this is a hoax.
Yeah.
This is fake news.
Yeah. It's just, Emily did exactly the opposite of what I would ever want to see. It's just, it made it seem so fake. She handled it very poorly. And then she kind of spiraled out of control and started screaming at Alexis, knowing that she had just got her ass handed to her. And it was just so bad. Oh my God.
I love for Shannon's sake that Emily has decided that Alexis is her enemy for like, I think she just like doesn't respect her because of the lawsuit and stuff, but also she ultimately just finds her annoying. Yeah. Which, I feel like Shannon will be happy about that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, maybe we breeze over some of the earlier moments. There's really not much, and then maybe focus on the Jenga party.
It is revealed that Johnny J's lawyers essentially said that they are holding the video as extortion, which I don't even understand how that holds up. Like, what does that even mean?
He said, Johnny J said, I would like the opportunity to hold on to this in my back pocket, so in case Shannon ever does anything that I don't like, I can release it. It's like
the literal, Emily reads the definition of extortion. Like, how are you allowed to do that?
I don't know. We're going to have to figure out if this is like technically extortion, because it sounds like it. Right. I want the ability to release this thing. Please, I
don't want to get on a tangent, but I just listened to Griffin Dunn's memoir.
After Hours guy.
Yes.
I only know him from that.
His dad is Dominic Dunn, the writer, and then his sister was Dominique Dunn, who was an actress. She's in Poltergeist, and she was murdered by her boyfriend in the 80s at 23 years old.
Oh my God,
So
I didn't know that.
it's a great, I listened to it, but it's almost like Forrest Gumpian in his placement in Hollywood. Like he's just was around for crazy shit like the whole time. He was like teen best friends with Carrie Fisher right before she got Star Wars. Like just cool stories, but also like sad shit. But it reminded me that his sister seemed like a saint basically, and her abusive boyfriend strangled her to death. But they went to trial, and the defense team of this man, as you always see, like painted her to be a demon.
No way. Because she was in Poltergeist?
Yeah. They're like, are you seeing this?
Your Honor, I have evidence to portray, and it's her holding on the TV and the ghosts are going through it. Sorry, that's not, That's
well, that
right.
little girl, I guess I didn't really think about that. That is part of the Poltergeist curse. She's not the little girl. The little girl died also, though, like under suspicious circumstances.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's like a teen daughter.
Who was the Dunn?
The older. I think I haven't seen it in a long time, but like I think there's a teen daughter.
I only watched it once too. Okay.
But like everyone in it, not Craig T. Nelson, but a lot of people had bad fates.
Well, there's horrible shit going on with Craig T.
You don't want to know.
I won't even bring it up.
Anyways, I only brought that up because I'm like, oh, I guess like if you have nasty tape on anyone, you could just use it for anything you want.
I mean, I agree with Johnny J that I want the right to be able to release incriminating footage whenever I want, as to hold over someone's head so that they don't ever talk shit about me. But I wouldn't make it so blatant or so explicit.
Don't say it out loud.
Yeah, just say, no, I love all my Ring footage and I look at this stuff all the time, and it has nothing to do with the Shannon lawsuit. It's getting Alexis's arc is really sputtering to the point where I don't know if we want to go forward. I mean, to the Jenga party. I mean, is there anything else to?
The only thing I'll say is that I was excited that Oprah was at that GLAAD event.
That was cool.
And Meredith Marks was there. Jennifer Tilly was there. Frankie Grande.
Who's Frankie Grande?
Ariana Grande's brother.
I should have assumed. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
And then Katie and Tamra take their daughters to like a candle making thing. And I just liked that Katie was like, they have a lot in common. They're both artists and gamers.
Yeah, I like that too. I wrote that down. I want to know what the hell kind of games they play. Minecraft.
Rummy Cube.
Oh, I didn't even think about those analog games.
Dominoes.
I was thinking of Fortnite. Right. And you're probably right. Dominoes. Trouble. The doctor. Yeah, what's the one where
Operation.
That'd be so fun
if a real gamer.
That'd be so fun if we saw a scene where Sophia and Katie's daughter and they were playing Operation together. That'd be so fun. Yeah.
And then the last thing I'll say about that is Tamra is talking about Simon, and I just wanted to say that I was surprised that she said that Simon wasn't a great husband. And then if you listen closely, she also says he's not a great dad.
Yeah.
And that she like hates his guts. And I was like, usually like 9 times out of 10, like even someone like Bethany wouldn't say that someone was a bad father. They would say like, I hate his guts, but he's a good dad, or like loves his kid or whatever. And I was like, damn. I'm like, you're going to get sued now.
I thought the same thing. I hadn't heard her say it so explicitly, and I was also saying, isn't that the kind of talk she would do that her daughter said that she was always sort of pitting them against each other and would talk shit about the father, and she didn't have the same relationship with her dad that Tamra, has with him, so she didn't want that talk sort of skewing her relationship, and I'm really surprised that Tamra sort of doubled down on that attitude towards Simon again on camera.
Right. I know.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Tamra had a bad showing this episode too. Kind of not the best. Few and far between and kind of scrambling and then we'll get to the Jenga party, but goddamn.
I like the moment where she was like, you think that Heather is plotting to make you feel fat in your outfit or whatever? She was like, that's not Heather's character. She's like, that's something I would do.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of funny. Like, she's like, I'm a devil, but that's just me.
Yeah.
And then to cross all of the parenting barriers, because I feel like that was like the underlier of this whole episode. Like, Katie talked about how one of her sons lives in a different state. Tamra's like, isn't that hard? Because like one of her kids doesn't talk to her. And then Jen is talking to her teen son, which by the end of the conversation, it's concluded he's moving in with his dad. Which I
know.
Like, damn.
Well, what's Katie's son's thing? He grew up and then does he live with the dad?
Yeah, it sounds like she said she puts him on a plane 4 times a year. So it's like quarterly or something, but she said he didn't want to leave his friends in Georgia or whatever.
I thought maybe he didn't even live with one of the parents and he just lived with his friends.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, you just live with your high school friends and you see your parents 4 times a year. Okay, so it's not so. She made it seem like he just couldn't leave his friends, but he's living with his father in Georgia. It's like he didn't want to leave that side of his life.
Right.
To move to Orange County, which, makes it more understandable. But yeah, that was really hard. And then Jen has this sort of, heart-wrenching conversation with Dawson, who we didn't know too much about. But apparently Dawson is banging on the doors at all hours. He's out in cars till 3 a.m. And she goes, you're like me, Dawson. You're like, you're failing school. You're not waking up. What do you do out at night when we don't know where you are? And he goes, sometimes I just sit alone in my car because I don't want to come into this house. And I was like, oh my God, why does he hate this house so much? What's going on? And then Jen goes, is it because you hate Ryan? And he goes, don't even say that. And I was like, okay, so it's not about Ryan. It's that.
Go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say he says that I don't know how much to believe of Dawson, but he was pretty eloquent for a 17-year-old boy. I felt like he kind of articulated himself well. He said, I have a lot of private space when I go to my dad's house. He's living a
one-bedroom apartment.
He's living a one-bedroom apartment, but he gives me my space when I want to do my kind of Dawson stuff.
It's not about the square footage. It's about the attitude.
Yeah. It reminded me of, do you remember in Sopranos when Carmela doesn't want AJ to live with her anymore, so he goes to live with Tony? Do you remember that era?
Kind of.
Okay. All right. Well, it gave me that a little bit. But he said, Dad gives me the most personal space I could ever have, but with you, you're checking in on me, you're texting me at all hours of the night, you're wondering why I sit alone in a car at 3 a.m. when you look out the window. And Jen goes, it's because I see myself in you, Dawson, and I just want what's best for you. So it kind of sounds like
he's playing him.
Yeah. It sounds like Dawson's like, if you keep checking up on me, I'm gonna get my ass out of here and go with Dad, who doesn't give a shit about what the hell I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Like, we sit in lawn chairs and watch football, and he doesn't give a shit what I do.
Yeah, and he lets me have a sip of his beer.
Yeah.
So it kind of was playing on the emotional center of your mother to be like, you better not coddle me because I'll get my ass over to.
Bad for her because she's clearly like grappling with like, she's like, I've basically like given them too much freedom. Like she's like insecure in her mothering style, and she's afraid that she like ruined their lives. So she just wants to please them. And now she's like on like a rocky road where she just wants them to be happy and not to be mad at her, but she like can't win.
And they know they can kind of play with her like emotions a little bit because she's like sensitive. Jen, I do really feel, I mean, Jen seems very sad. I don't know if I see that in a lot of cast members, but there's definitely an underlying sadness there that I hope that she can overcome. And I hope if she continues on this journey on Housewives that it builds her self-confidence, because I think that that could completely change her trajectory in life. But right now she's kind of going through it.
She hasn't even been through the like FBI storyline yet. That starts next week.
Yeah. Does Dawson's dad live in the OC?
I think he still lives in like the Midwest or whatever.
Oh, he does. Oh, so that is an even bigger. Oh, I didn't remember. I was like, maybe the dad lives like down the street or something, but no. So that would be a big move. Yeah. Okay. All right. But it gets sweet at the end. Jen just says like, I'm never going to stop mothering you. I will try to respect your boundaries more, but I love you and I want the best for you. And you can tell. I mean, Jen absolutely loves Dawson. Like, it's like
Yeah.
she handled this conversation decently well with a kid who says, hey, I'm going to leave you, if you keep not respecting my boundaries.
Right. Okay, so then we can go to this shitty fiesta. For some reason, Gina dressed like she was going to the Renaissance tour. Like, her fashions are really just nuts.
She's doing a lot of silver. I don't normally comment on outfits and stuff, but it's her silver season.
Yeah, I'm like, where do you even think you're going?
This has all the hallmarks of a flop party, by the way. It's just the cast members, so it's not really a party. It's like an all-cast event. And I could not believe when they got to the sex games portion of this.
I know. They also did Shannon dirty because they were all talking about, like, as moms, they don't want their kids out late because nothing good happens like after midnight. Like 3 a.m. is not a good time to be on the road. And then they're like, who's out at that hour? And they were like, drunks. And then it cuts to Shannon.
They did not.
Yeah.
I think I looked down for a second.
Talking about her DUI at the Vicky and Shannon show.
Oh my God. It's true that only drunks are out at 3 a.m.
It is scary. The veil is thin, as we say.
Oh, at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I've been thinking about like children and what I'll do in certain situations. And like, I could not imagine like if your kid was like 16 and they're like, I'm out till 3 a.m. It's like, what the hell are you doing? There's nothing available to you to do at 3 a.m.
And you're going to be on like a Power Wheel, like ripping out in like a year.
Oh my God. I can't. Okay, that's going to be rough. Okay, and then, okay, this party has flop energy. It's too quiet. It's only for them. Jen's obviously uncomfortable hosting an event, I think. And then Alexis comes in like a bat out of hell, and she goes, woo! She goes, woo! She's like,
she's
devil's
off.
She's like, the devil's got a pitchfork in my ass today. She's like, totally. Like, she's like, I think she's quite possibly drunk. I don't want to cast anyone with that brush, but she's not making any sense. And then everyone goes, what's wrong, Alexis? Because you've been screaming and hooting and hollering, and you're not acting like yourself. And Alexis goes, oh. And then Heather says, thank you for coming to the GLAAD Awards. I wish you would have brought John Jansen. I know how personal he is to you and what he means to you. And Alexis goes, and then everybody goes, are you okay? What's wrong? And everybody thinks that she's going to say that Johnny J, like, things are really bad with Johnny J. Yeah. And she goes, it's legal stuff. And then that's when Emily has to translate for her. And it's just, Alexis is just talking about the legal battle that she and John are making worse and worse against Shannon. This is not this is something that you are doing to Shannon. It has nothing to do with you, and you're making it worse.
She does get into, I feel like the thing that she says after that, though, is like the first time she's gotten real at all. Like, she says that she feels like she met Johnny J too soon. Like, she needed 6 more months. Her mom had just died. She had just broken up with her fiance, which I don't even know if I knew that. Then, he has all this shit going on with Shannon, and she's just saying it's more than she bargained for, but breaking up is not an option. But I'm like, okay, well, you're admitting that, like, something about your relationship isn't ideal, which is new.
Yeah, you're right. She does kind of. I kind of forgot that she does get into what she was going through, but it's not there on the page. She doesn't articulate herself well at all, and she makes it seem like she's just dealing with the legal stuff until you hear that confessional. But everybody's very confused by her behavior. They haven't seen this side of Alexis. A little zany, possibly.
She was talking in a weird accent at one point that I couldn't place, and Jen's like, all right, like, let's take you to the bathroom and we'll freshen you up. And then Emily and Tamara are inside, and they crawl like under the breakfast table and behind the kitchen island so that they don't have to interact with her, which they got away with. I was glad there wasn't a run-in. I didn't feel like dealing with that.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were doing when they were hiding. But it makes sense. Yeah, they got out of it. Right? Yeah. And then this is it, like, oh my God. So then Jen goes, she brings out like this huge crate, that says like, I think it's a Jenga on it. And Heather goes, is this a mean game? I really don't want to play a fucking game.
Yeah.
They just got done with that traders garbage. Every time they sit down, they have to play some stupid game. And Jen goes, we're playing it. I don't give a shit what you think. And this is Jenga, but we write truth or dare questions on Jenga. So this is the most contrived sex games format they've ever done. Jenga
Also,
turns
everyone
into
kept choosing the Jenga block off the top, which is not the point of Jenga.
They don't want to do this stuff. They're all mad that they have to do these games. Oh my god! And
it went from who do you hate? Alexis says, the devil. I hate you, devil, and then tries to burn the block. And Heather's like, that's not a wood-burning fireplace. You're not allowed to do that.
Why can't you do that?
Because I think that whatever was in there isn't like going to be incinerated. It's just like gas burning. Like,
so you can't.
I mean, you could. I think it'll just like make a mess.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
if there's like a flue. There's flue for gas.
Yeah, I wanted to know more about why that Jenga block couldn't light on fire in there.
But was more like, that's annoying, stop.
But it was an odd thing to do for sure. There was other very...
they made Katie show her butthole, which she was happy to do.
She showed it. She's...
I couldn't believe it.
I don't want to get too graphic, but they had to blur out. And then Emily goes, I didn't get to see it. And then so Katie pulls her pants down again and shows...
confident.
Yeah, and I had
to respect that, honestly.
You did?
I mean, she went for it.
Yeah, she showed her asshole. The other one was how big is Travis's dick, and Gina goes, it's big enough. And then
I love that. And then Tamara peed on the concrete by the pool, like it was like running off into the pool.
This had it was like the OC energy that I don't appreciate. The like coyote ugly fall over scream, like what Tamara likes to bring as the lowest common denominator of entertainment. It just all of this felt like that. Felt very bad.
Unladylike.
That's exactly my point. I kept looking at this and saying that exactly. And then I think Emily says, you know what, Heather? I have something I need to say to you. And Heather goes, fuck. No, it's not about the game, is it? Fuck. Are you going to bring up the Katie Popper? Oh, no. And Emily goes, it's about jeans. And then Heather goes, huh? No, it's not that. But Emily goes, when I had to bring jeans, I realized nobody else did. And Heather goes, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then she goes, yeah, and I felt completely singled out, which that's the title. And I went into the bathroom and cried because I felt like I couldn't wear the Sandra Bernhardt collection that everybody else was wearing. And Heather goes, I didn't know. I didn't know that.
She's like, I literally don't even give a shit
Sandra,
about the fashion line. Like,
Sandra did it. It
means nothing to me.
You sent her sizes. I'm so sorry. And then Emily goes, yeah, well, I cried and it brought back those feelings. And Heather goes, I'm so sorry you felt that way. I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't believe that you felt that way. I actually did the opposite. I wanted you to be a star. I gave you more outfits. I absolutely love you. This can't be a thing, can it?
Yeah.
And then
one of the examples Emily gives is that her dress was a size 12 and they gave the same dress to Alexis, which was like a size 2 or whatever. And then Alexis decides that this is a reason for her to be mad because I'm like, she's calling you skinny. Shut up.
It was did I hear, my name? I'm ready for a little bit of the drama here. It was awful. Absolutely awful. Alexis goes, you're making this about me. I didn't do anything. This is about me. And everybody's like, no, it's not about you. She gave you a compliment. Stop.
Yeah. And then Emily keeps calling her a wackadoodle over and over again. I feel like Heather is rightfully pissed because she's like, what the hell is this? And Emily's like belligerent. Like she's just like, it turns into a total shit show.
She does the thing where it's like, it's not about what you said. I mean, you gave me the perfect apology and everyone agrees you did everything right. But it's now that you're mad at me and you're rude at me. Why can't you just like appreciate my feelings?
Cold.
You're being cold and rude. It's like, yeah, Heather's fucking pissed at this shit. She's tired of this. Enough. Please, Emily. And then Emily doubles down. It gets worse. And then she points her rage at Alexis because she's like, what the fuck is Alexis doing? She's spinning around me, also screaming. So Emily's like, you're fucking crazy. You're a wackadoodle. Go fuck John Jansen. I'm fucking out of here. Right? I mean, it's in...
and she forced Heather to be a bitch where she goes, she's like, you sent me measurements and I got the dresses made and that's what came out. She goes, and guess what? It was tight on Emily. It wasn't loose. It was tight. And I was like, well, you forced her hand.
Right. I mean, I think even though it may come off bad.
Before she said that, I was literally in the beginning of the episode when she brought up the size 12 thing. I was like, is it clipped in the back? Like, what are we talking about?
Right. I place absolutely no blame on Heather, as, I know you don't either. So it's just like, I mean, I don't know why Emily went this route. And I felt like she felt very defeated towards the end of it, that it just landed with such a thud at the end, and you can tell she kind of starts to get embarrassed too. Cause she's like, Heather, don't look at me like that. And Heather's like, I'm looking at you because I'm pissed at you. I don't like what you did. And Emily's like, oh, fuck off. Fuck everyone. It was a
spiraled.
really bad Emily performance. If we were doing MVP of the episode and LVP of the episode, I would probably give Emily LVP of this one.
Yeah. And then Heather was on Watch What Happens After with her BFF Dan Bukatinsky, who keeps popping up in these episodes.
I knew who that Dan Bukatinsky was just from his face, but then Andy goes, he's from The Comeback. And I was like, that's one of my favorite shows of all time. But who was he in The Comeback?
Was he? I'm due for a rewatch. I've actually been considering it.
He's her agent? He's the second manager she gets, I think, and he starts to like hang her out to dry or something. He's maybe like the downgraded manager or something that she gets at a point in the season. But anyway, if I want to recommend The Comeback if nobody's ever seen it. It's one of the best shows of all time. Bar none. Completely underrated. Two powerful, beautiful seasons.
Yeah. I think he was also on Scandal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew I recognized him. I was like, I can't believe it's from The Comeback. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say about that?
No, just I read he was at the fashion show, and I was like, oh, is that actually and at the GLAAD Award, and I think they gave him a lower third both times, so
yeah,
they knew it was a get.
It was a huge get for.
Also, I wanted to mention that Alexis yet again, which I guess it's her right, but it's weird that they keep alluding to her kids having ties to the LGBTQ community, but not talking about it. And I'm like, this is like the third time. And I'm like, if you're going to make it a thing that she has a connection, you have to tell us.
It could be, I don't want to say this in case he sues us into oblivion, but allegedly, quite possibly, the other BJB, it could be Big Jim. Yeah. Allegedly, possibly, could be one of those parents that says, we don't talk about my children. I hate Bravo now. I spurn this franchise because I'm no longer a part of it. So maybe Alexis isn't at liberty to talk about that journey, or she doesn't feel comfortable doing it. But I definitely, once you told me that, and it makes all of her scenes make so much more sense, and she's not specifically saying it. Like,
if I didn't have any context from like Instagram or whatever, I'd be like, what are they saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely hit my limit of Alexis's part in the lawsuit and the John Jansen stuff. There's only so much dinner or a meal you can make of this. I'm tired. It's not really her story.
Right.
So it's time to bring something new. Alexis, if you want to be on season 19 or whatever it is, you need to have more facets to your character on this show.
Yes. We'll see if that's possible.
Yeah. I mean, I love hearing about Johnny J. I mean, you can talk about him all the time, but I think that you, Alexis, when you're listening to Turtle Time, you got to add some stuff to this. season. No more just lawsuit and Johnny J. We need more from Alexis.
Yeah.
Did you think it was as bad as I did?
It was just kind of like nothing.
Yeah, it didn't even feel like an episode. It felt like I don't know. Maybe it's maybe because we didn't watch it together. It had no merit, and I was just pissed or something. But I really thought it was like it had all the hallmarks of a flop episode for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well,
luckily we had Salt Lake, and
thank God. Could you imagine?
Yeah, we would have just talked about Cinematrix for like 400 more years.
Yeah. When we have this big break in the middle, do you feel like we're doing a new episode entirely? Like, do you lose the steam? Yeah, me too. It's like not ideal, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, we can always switch it up. We might not have to do this for much longer once we have more to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Roni and Potomac coming up, so don't leave Amy and I just yet. It's not going to be just OC in Salt Lake. We've got a lot coming up, and there will always be Bravo news, that you and I will talk about. Yeah,
this could be one of the... I mean, we'll get screwed by the schedule again. There will be more Thursday night stuff, but we can return to daytime. Maybe we'll get that sweet vitamin D energy recording during the day again.
Oh, I can't wait for that. When you and I are just absolutely sunblasted. I love that energy. Yeah. Well, good. Do you feel good about what we did here today?
I think so.
Okay.
Whether or not you guys thought this was our finest display, we always say at the end that if you want more, it's potentially even better. I say this every week. Patreon, Vanderpump Rules from the very beginning. We're on season 5. You get like 75 or 80 backlogged episodes. It's, I don't know, that's probably close to like well over 100 hours. 100
hours of you and I talking about Vanderpump Rules and anything else that comes into our heads during that run. I can't even...
Our beautiful minds.
It's beautiful. I already said I'm figuring out how to get one of our episodes on that NASA gold record to give.
Who do we know?
I know somebody who works at NASA.
Well...
I mean, it's hard because there's only 12 tracks on it or whatever, but I'm sure one of the Patreon episodes can go on that. But if you, like Amy said...
Elon can help us.
Sure.
He's so cool.
Elon? Yeah.
Schroeder's in such good shape right now.
Sure. Yes. If he wants to put it into space, maybe it's not a gold record. Maybe it's whatever he wants to put up. Sure. So anyway, that is a great place for more Amy and Riley stuff. Absolutely. You got it. And I wanted to say to our Villa Rosa VIPs, while I've been going through the birth of Penny, so I have been a little, like Amy and I have been not responding to every comment, but we see every single one of our beautiful comments that we absolutely love, and we respond to some of them, a lot of them. So there's a fun, vibrant community there for the Villa Rosa VIPs as well. And then I'll just say this to end this episode, but if you found merit to Turtle Time, this episode or any episode you've ever listened to, but you've never reviewed it, you've been thinking about it, but you never have done it, why don't you give us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Chartable? I don't know where these reviews come from, but if you want to give us a good review, every time I get this email from Chartable where it shows Amy and I the reviews that come in, I smile so proudly when there's a 5-star that comes in. So that's a great way to help Amy and I. Absolutely love it.
We love it. We want to keep doing this without having other jobs. So please help us.
Let this be the main thing Amy and I do. Look how good we are at it. Look at it. Look at us. This is good. What are you doing tonight? Just to leave, so I leave you on a good note.
I'm watching the clock and I'm debating if I want to go see In the Mood for Love because it's playing down the street, but I don't know if I feel like watching a subtitled movie right now. Yeah.
I didn't say this earlier, but I also got In the Mood for Love fever, and I started watching it on HBO Max. But I do think based off the first 20 or 30 minutes, if you're even close to being slightly sleepy, sleep might come for you. Sleep might come for you in that theater.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why I do this to myself. I get a little hell-bent on like trying to, if I think I can squeeze something in and make the time work, I like to try and do it. And then I'm like, for what? Like, just chill, just sit down.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I'm the opposite though. I have to motivate myself to do other stuff other than sitting. But
Yeah.
I love that. Good. We're watching I mean, you didn't ask, but we're watching season 22 of Survivor. That's what Megan and I are doing.
When's that from?
2010. They did this challenge. I'll say this is the last thing I'll say, but they do this horrible product integration into the seasons. And one of the challenges on Survivor, Gulliver's Travels was out, that horrible Jack Black movie in 2010.
Jason
So they all,
Segel?
yeah.
That's
So
a
has
good
it,
Cinematrix.
yeah. Oh, that's why I said it. So they
Who's
had
the
one
woman?
of the, I don't remember. Possibly Emily Blunt. I don't know. But the challenge was they had to see who could sit through Gulliver's Travels the longest, because it was so bad that a lot of them walked out.
Oh,
So,
no.
yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember the Land... What was it called?
Land Before the Lost with Will Ferrell and Danny
Yeah.
McBride. A swing
Right
and a
around that
miss.
time.
Yeah.
I was also thinking of since it was Seth Rogen today, I was trying to think of every iteration of anything he could possibly be in. I don't even think he's in this, but remember the movie Your Highness?
Yeah, I started watching that the other day also because I thought
Really?
it was maybe a secret gem. I like David Gordon Green.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know anything about him, but I like almost all of his movies. I think he's
Wait, is Observe and Report, is that that was Jody Hill.
Yes,
Yeah.
but they're frequent collaborators. That whole, I think they're North Carolina collective. But David Gordon Green is killing it. But I don't know if Your Highness is I don't know. I'll watch the rest of it someday. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad we spent a couple extra minutes together because
I love just listing films.
me too. I mean, well, yeah, there'll be a tier someday, film tier, right?
I was really, we should. The middle category today was movies that have the character's name, and the most popular answer was Zach and Miri Make a Porno.
Oh, right.
But I put The Fabelmans.
Oh my God. And that counts because that's their last name.
They are the
God.
Fabelmans.
I was going to say Zach and Miri Make a Porno when you said underrated or unknown Seth Rogen's.
I watched a TikTok, here we go, of Kevin Smith on a podcast saying that perfection is the enemy of good enough or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, we can tell, Kevin.
You said that to Kevin?
Kevin, maybe you need to aim a little higher.
It's true, because his good is not up to you're right, is not possibly up to par for a lot of people. You're exactly right. Oh, I was thinking for that name one, Walter Mitty.
Ooh. Is he in
Do you remember?
No.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. It was
any movie with the character's name and title.
Michael Clayton. I'm sorry. They had to have Seth Rogen in it.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Or Idris Elba.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll think of that, and then next week I'll have a couple prepared.
Thank you.
Well, good. All right, Amy, I'll let you go for In the Mood for Love. Let me know. We'll talk about it next week. But I think this was a good, maybe a good episode, right? B plus.
Yeah. It's pretty long. What, 220 or something like that?
Oh my God. I think longer. But
Oh,
we'll let the Little
My
Turtle Cuties judge.
apologies.
When you got Little Turtle Cuties, when you find out how long this episode is, let us know how long it was.
Comment below.
Please comment. We love those comments on YouTube and every other platform. All right. Well, Little Turtle Cuties, we love you all. I'm going to stop this right now. Goodbye.